Hey,
that ain't
I got the same joint. My son bought me a shot glass with the bullet in the joint.
Right.
Yeah, I got one in there too.
I am Rodney Glover. I'm your host. So we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves. So that's all. You'll definitely learn more about us as this podcast goes on. I'm grateful that I'm excited about it. I'm excited about what we're getting ready to get into and what we're going to start. The thing is, I've been blessed with a lot of friends that all are great men and dads. But I found that we don't talk to each other enough.
There is a difference between being a good man and being good at being a man.
He was about all these motorcycles, all these cars, everything I can think of,
I wouldn't change a thing. Like some things you look at me like, wow, but honestly, man, I wouldn't change it. We experience and those things, ultimately make us who we are. That's what I believe. Like,
Hello. It's your boy, the Beast One. Welcome to Dad Mentality Podcast. Thank you for joining us another week as we come together and talk about things that men and dads don't talk about on the regular, and we discuss them here on this podcast. As you know, I don't do this by myself. I got my two co-hosts with me. I'm glad to have these fellas here. We're going to go ahead and start with, the king of crypto. My man is out here teaching y'all things, trying to get y'all educated on this money, doing this, making your business and making things better. Is my man, the diversified hustler, Matty Ice. What's up, Matty Ice? How you doing, sir?
Hey, man, great day, great week, man. Feeling good, man. How y'all fellas doing tonight?
Man, doing good. Glad we're here for another episode. So also, I got my boy since we were 4 years old playing in the sandbox, going to church together, went to school together, kindergarten all the way through, ran that elementary school. I'm telling you, we had one more in the crew, but we was the three amigos in that joint running that school. Now we running this podcast. This is my man, Coach, a.k.a. Vance Robs. What's up, Coach?
What's good with y'all? How y'all doing this week, man?
Man, doing good. So, all right. So this week we brought in a couple other hosts with us to talk about this topic, which is depression, something that we don't talk about as men. So first, this gentleman has been with me through high school. He's my homie. He's the only person I trust to drive now. But when we was 16, I wouldn't let him touch my car unless I was really, really drunk. But he's still my boy now. Now he's been in the Army. He's retired. He's living the life teaching and educating people out Richmond, Virginia. Is my man, Chief Ayler. What's up, sir? How you doing, brother?
Yo, what's up, good family? How y'all, man? Doing all right down here?
Man, doing great. All right, last but not least, of course, this gentleman joins us whenever we have very serious topics because, we got to bring a professional in here, too, that, I've always said, now, I don't trust his football picks or his choice in music, but I definitely, if I'm in a hostage negotiation, I want this man to come and help save my life. And he is retired Sergeant Garrett. What's up, sir? How you doing?
Hey, what's good, gentlemen? How y'all doing tonight?
Cool.
Excellent.
Doing good.
Good to have you back again.
Hey, man.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Nice to be with you again, Chief Ayler. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you. Same to you, brother. Same to you, man. Hey, that DD214 life ain't no joke, man. I'm telling you,
man. As soon as I got mine, I grew a beard and went on, man. It was good.
That's that last piece of paper they give you, your discharge, and then you walk freely. It's like getting out of jail free card. You know what I'm saying?
And apparently the first thing you do is grow a beard. Is that what happened?
Yeah, go beard.
You don't exactly grow a beard. You just stop shaving. I mean, we shave every day for 23 years, bro. I'm going to go at least 23 months without shaving.
Hey, that's what we mean.
I told my wife, a razor's not touching my face at least for 5 years, at least.
At least, bro.
Okay.
Sit,
All
bro.
right. All right. So that's the retirement package. You get the DD-17, and then you don't grab a razor. You cut out all your razors.
Yeah.
DD-214, and you stop buying Mach 3s, you stop buying Harry's, whatever razors out there, you just save your money. Put it in something.
Nice. Okay. All right, fellas. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get the show started. We're gonna get into our Twitch mental health check-in. You know, when we talk about our week, how you been, you give it a rating from 0 to 10, and you talk about the things that you're looking forward to, the things that you're trying to get past. You know, this is a big thing that we always talk about, because if you're not talking to somebody, you know, you can't hold this in, man. As men, all our lives we've been told we gotta hold it in, we can't do this, but you know, we want to change that and definitely start talking about the things that's going through and helping each other as along the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Matty Ice start us out this week and let us know how your week was.
Man, I'm gonna say my week was okay. I'm gonna say I was at probably about a 6.5, probably before I got on the show, but I'm probably at about a 7 now. I don't know. Today was, man, I was having a day where I was just kind of feeling a little, I ain't gonna say anger, but I could tell my patience wasn't there, and I was finding myself being irritable today, but I was catching myself. I didn't lash out, but you know, I had an early morning. My wife had a procedure out above Baltimore this morning, so we had like an hour and something drive. We had to be there at 6 o'clock this morning, so I had to leave out my house very early this morning.
That's the day off wrong right there.
A little irritable today. And I think it was about some other things too, man. You know what I mean? Just in business, I'm trying to get some stuff together with some taxes and some other stuff, man. So I think I just was a little, I don't know. I just wasn't very patient today. So, but overall the week was good. But I'm gonna say I'm at probably 6.5, 7. I'm feeling pretty good now. You know what I mean? I done came home, handled a few things, hopped on the computer, looked at a few things as far as my crypto stuff, and like some stuff that I seen. So that made me feel good. Got me a drink, man. So I'm at about a 7 right now. Like life is good. I'm healthy, man. You know what I mean? Family good. So overall, I'm great, but I'm gonna say I'm at about a 7 because I wasn't feeling as patient as I'm usually am. Especially with my wife. Like, you know what I mean? She was having a procedure today, and I just felt myself feeling a little anxious or not as patient like with her today as I usually.
Can I ask you a question now? Because I have an issue when my wife goes and does procedures or going to the hospital or doctor for any of my family members. It automatically gives me anxiety. So let me ask you a question, because a lot of things you're putting somebody you really love in somebody else's control. Mm-hmm. And that to me always gives me anxiety. So do you think was that part of it, or was it just, you know,
I would say that is part of it, but I would say unfortunately, like, it's so routine. Like, my wife go get these procedures like every other month, every third month or so. So it gets to be routine. You know what I'm saying? It's an outpatient procedure, even though, you know what I mean, she's in there for quite a few hours. You know what I mean? They, you know what I mean, give her anesthesia, pretty much go. But I would say that had something to do with it. But I don't know if that was it today. It was just like, because it may be so routine, I just felt myself feeling a little irritated today. And I really didn't know why. It wasn't nothing to do with her, but it was just, I just didn't feel, I don't know. It was just one of them days, but I'm good now. Like, it might have been the weather. I had to get up early. I don't know what it was, but
okay.
I was about to say, how often do you wake up that early?
I'm usually it depends. Not that early. I'm usually out the bed by about between 7 and 8:30. You know what I mean? I'm usually up and moving lately. Yeah. I used to get up a little bit earlier, but it's between 7 and 8:30 that I'm usually start moving. So yeah, getting up at 4 o'clock this morning could have had something to do with it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I'll put my money on 4 o'clock.
I would be willing to bet it had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Then having to drive, an hour and something up to
drive an hour too, yeah.
In the rain.
That's a foam on top.
I'm never happy going to Baltimore. That's my opinion. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go next real quick and get mine out the way. So last weekend was anyway, last weekend was my daughter's birthday. So I went and we went and did my daughter's birthday. It's the last of my spending month now. So fortunately and unfortunately, I spent a lot of money between Christmas and the 20th of January, which is my daughter's birthday, because there's other people's birthdays involved, this, that, and the other. It was my niece's birthday. It was the baby's birthday that I have adopted. It was, Christmas, all that other kind of stuff. So, my Vance would look at my budget and be like, I lost my damn mind. So, but, I do what I do. I am what I am. I got a problem. Like, I love the females in my family. My nieces, my daughter, this, that, and the other, I give them whatever they want. I'm a sucker. So I give them whatever they want, whatever they sit there and they tell me, this, that, and the other. My daughter told me she wanted to have a Korean barbecue for her friends. So I looked at the prices, and then she was like, they want galbi. That joint was like $80 a person. I was like, nah, I'll make galbi myself. I'll make that thing happen. I still ended up spending about $250 just on food. But, 7 of her friends came over. I got the little Blackstone hibachi joint, hooked it up, made fried rice, did all the joint. Yeah, did all the joint. I'm in there throwing shrimp to myself. Nah, but I can't eat shrimp. But anyway, we had the joint. They had a sushi station where they made sushi. I had a ramen station where they can make their own ramen. And then I had galbi. I don't know if y'all familiar with galbi, but galbi is the best Korean barbecue you will ever eat in your life, son. It is absolutely. And when you go to Korean barbecues, galbi is a separate price. You're not going to get galbi at a normal Korean barbecue that's like $30 or even $40 a person. Galbi is usually up in the $60 to $80. Man. Hey, I love them. I love them.
Yeah, because a lot of them jumps all you can eat. Like I do hibachi all the time. I go to Kobe, Sakura. I get that, but I ain't never did the Korean barbecue. I've been wanting to go.
If you want to go for beginners, you want to go to a place it's called what is it called? God damn it, Ice Age. What's the name of that joint? Something Age. Oh man, I can't remember. It's Korean barbecue. Something Age. Iron Age. That's what it's called. Iron Age.
All you can eat. Not just one eat. I just want to eat.
Yeah. You can get pork belly, all you can eat there. They have a different steak. It's not galbi, but they have what they call an Iron Age steak, and it's very close to galbi, but it's not the same.
It's not.
So
go to Iron Age. Like the Korean Wagyu or something like.
Galbi is short rib. It's the 3-bone short rib.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 3-bone short rib. That's what galbi is, and it's been marinated. It's got to be marinated for at least 24 hours. Blah blah blah. My household, they eat kimchi. We do galbi. We do all that. So they made their own. What's the joint called now? I forgot. They made their own sushi. Then they had a ramen station. They made the ramen. And then at the end it was galbi, and everybody had a good time. It was all good. It still cost me. I'll take $250 over $800 any day, because that's how much it probably would have cost me. I went to a restaurant. Yeah. So, but they enjoyed it and everything was good. So, but I mean, I told you I switched my bosses. That my boss is amazing now. I'm so happy about that. That changed because I was in the 6s a few months ago, and things haven't been going right since I got with my boss, because my old boss has been doing me dirty, and I'm good with saying it out loud now. I don't even care no more. But now. My score today, right now, is an 8.2. I've been in 6s for all last month. I was in the 6s because right now I ain't got no more big expenditures. The next thing I got to spend money is Valentine's Day, but me and my wife, she gets Valentine's Day every day, so it ain't nothing different. So that now I don't got no more big expenditures. So I'm happy. I'm looking at my account. Maybe taxes come. Maybe I'll get $1 or $2 back. I don't know. I doubt it, but we'll see. And
all holidays this year.
But nah, my wife.
no
So
holidays.
there's a chance, fellas, I may be going to Indonesia. So I'm putting it into existence. I want it to happen. I hope it happens. I may be going to Indonesia in April. So I'm excited about that. But it's a lot of big things going on with my wife and her business, and even coaching his wife in her business, his wife's business. And I'm excited about that. It's a lot of things I'm excited. So I've come out of the 6s now. I'm back to an 8.2. I'm not going to say I'm completely up the hill, because everything's hills and valleys, but I'm getting up there and I'm happy. I'm getting happy and working on things. So anyway, Coach, your turn.
That's what it's about. Moving
Yeah,
up here.
no doubt, man. I'm glad to hear that. You know what I'm saying? You climbing that peak again, right? Over the last week, I think I'm probably at about 7.5. Been playing it pretty even with work. Nothing major's been going on. Everybody is coming back to work after the Christmas break, so they're trying to still figure out what happened over the last month and a half. But that's been good. Personal life, I'm actually hitting some goals. You know what I'm saying? Physically, that I've been going after. I started another new challenge called 75 Hard, which is it's a lot more difficult than what a lot of people think it is. And I'm on track to hit the weight loss number that I was trying to hit by the end of January. I'm actually about 5 pounds away from it right now. So I'm pretty sure.
What it's called, Coach?
75 Hard. And what 75 Hard is you got to pick a diet. You got to stick to it for 75 days, whatever the diet is. It's your diet of choice. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to cut out, you don't have to make it too strict, but you got to make it achievable. That's the first step. You got to take a self-photo of yourself, which is the second step. The third step is you got to read 10 pages of non-fictional information every single day.
That's easy.
The fourth step.
Who lost me at that one?
The fourth step is 45-minute workout outside every day and a 45-minute workout inside every day. As some of you guys from the DMV know, last week we had 5 consecutive days where it was below 30 degrees.
Yeah.
So I'm outside walking through the snow for 45 minutes. You know what I mean? And it takes extreme dedication. Like today, I haven't run in probably 20 years, and I started a new running app. And today I'm on week 3 of it. And it was I actually went out and ran in the rain, which is crazy, right? Because that's something I would have never done before. But right now, you know what I mean? I failed the first week and a half of hitting.
You ain't do no video. You ain't do looking like Wallow out there in the rain, man. You ain't no joint.
Nah, man. Today I really just threw on my football gear. You know what I'm saying? My rain gear, and then I just went it, and I downloaded the app since I ain't ran in a long time, called Run the 5K. And it just trains you how to get to a 5K in 4 weeks, 5 weeks, something like that. So, all that being said, you know what I'm saying? Of course, the weight's coming off, right? So that kind of made me happy when I got on the scale. Down about 26 right now since the beginning of December. So,
that's fire. That's fire.
Oh, yeah.
I just need to have the flu for 3 more weeks and I can catch you.
Right.
I lost 5 pounds when I was sick.
I did not mention this too. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out there because Sergeant Jamel Garrett asked me about it. Yeah, my doctor wrote me a letter because apparently she says she's been trying to get in contact with me. Yeah, I got to go back in there. It's not good. I got to change all my stuff up now. So even though I lost the weight, she hit me with a letter showing me all my joints with notes beside every single one of them. And she was like, "I done called and we done called and tried to reach out to you." I was like, "Man, I don't know. Maybe they got the wrong number." But anyway, Sergeant Gary, you can go next. Tell them how you was good.
I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. Sergeant Gary, you can go ahead and go next. Tell us how your week is and this, that, and the other.
All right. I'd say I'm right at a solid 6.7. I'm coming out of being sick. It's funny that my youngest son, like last Thursday, Friday, came home sniffling and stuff, like, you know, runny nose. You know how little kids, they're little petri dishes anyway. But he was still himself running around. Saturday night, I had a work function, so me and the wife got dressed up. She looking good, I'm looking good. I don't know if I was her arm candy or she was my arm candy, but either way, we was two fine jokers, man. We was doing it.
He was your arm candy, just in case you didn't know that.
Yeah.
We're gonna help you out.
Yeah.
She was your arm
Yeah,
candy.
man. Look, she was, man. It was great. She looked amazing. She had a blue gown on. I had a blue suit, man. We were doing the thing. We looked good. While I was there, my throat started getting scratched. It was like, this is weird.
Yep, that's exactly how mine started out.
Yep. Like, man, my throat getting scratchy. This is weird. Pop some cough drops, going by my day. Sunday morning, I woke up. It felt like I got hit by a truck. My body was just like, nah, bro, we don't like this. Whatever's going on, we're not cool with it. My head was about to explode from sinus pressure. It was all congested, and I was like that for 3 days. So, fast forward, I'm coming out of that now. Still sound a little stopped up, but I'm doing much better now. So, I was able to go to work today, get caught up on some stuff. Whenever you sick, and you miss work, the work don't stop. So you go back, you got, patients for me, patients you got to see, notes that got to be written and all that stuff. So it was good to go in today to start getting caught up and stuff like that for the week. So ending on a high note, feeling better. My son is still fine. This joke ain't missed not a day of school. He was all right. Dude, I got it, and it knocked me on my behind. But it's all good.
They ain't send them home. You can't even go nowhere no more. You got a little cough, a little something. They like, oh, you gotta stay home. They
ain't even send them home
no more.
They ain't even send them home. Look. I don't know how I feel about that. They ain't sending home with nothing, man. And I was like,
that's kind of unfair, dog. Because like half the parents send their kids to school sick. Like you know what I mean.
Like so it's like, dog, coming out
if my kid can function, they going to school, dog. Like that's just what it is, dog. Like, dog, because trust me, we clean over here, so they brought something from y'all, and they gonna take it right on back.
Send it back.
Nah, my kids know. My kids know if you don't go to school, you're not allowed to watch TV. You're not allowed to look at. There's nothing electronic you're allowed to do the entire day. So they be sniffling going to school. They be sniffling going to school. They be like, oh, no, I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and play my game when I get home. Nah, I'm good.
Bro, I must be a big softy then, because I'm different, bro. Ever since COVID, I wake up and look at my kids like, you don't feel like going to school, do you? They be like, nope. I'm like, all right, stay home.
Hey,
nah, I don't do that.
But look, I'm looking at it.
But your kids are teenagers. That's different. I'm talking about when they're young.
Yeah,
teenagers are different though.
This was my daughter in her junior and senior year. My son, throughout all the COVID years, it's different. But then, like, I look at it like this: like, I think about how much school I missed going to Crossland and Oxford Hill, and I was just missing school because I wanted to. Mm-hmm. My son ain't brought a B home on a report card yet. He graduated next year. So I be like, I don't even know what to tell you, bro. Like, I can't help you with your homework. I can help you with some leadership challenges and some physical fitness. But other than that, like, this education thing, that's all you. You got it. Like, so I look at that joker. He be looking tired. Like, you don't feel like going to school, do you? Nah. All right, cool. Do this. Go clean the car. Go to the grocery store and come back. That's it. We'll talk about it later.
Well, you know that shit. There was a time my moms went to parent teacher conference and they was like, "Your son still goes here?" Like we didn't know he was still cool. But anyway, Coach Allen, go ahead and give your 0 to 10. How your week going? How you feeling, brother?
Man, it started great. My wife's birthday was this weekend, so we went down to Williamsburg, did some little small stuff, man. But things we like to do. We don't spend a whole lot of money doing any specific events because, for the 18, 19 years of our marriage, our accounts have always been the same. So it's real easy to be like, nah, I don't want to spend that much on my birthday because it's coming out of both our accounts. So we like to do the small things. I mean, we've done big things over the years, but we're at the point now it's like, hey, it don't even really matter what it costs. What we going to get out of it? How's the time going to be? So they got like this little salt cave down there. We went and did some things at the salt cave, did a couples massage, and then went to go see The Color Purple, hit the outlet on the way back, and it was all about her, the things she liked to do. So we did that. Bad part was that was Saturday, Sunday, went to church with her. Really didn't feel like going, but it's her birthday weekend, so that was not the weekend I was going to cop out. They didn't want even no 1 o'clock game on, so I really ain't had no reason to cop out. And the church get out at like 12:30, so I really ain't had no reason to cop out. So I'm like, nah, I'm dressed, I'm ready. Before she even thought about it, I'm dressed, ready, downstairs watching the news. Like, oh, you going? Yeah, it's your birthday weekend. I'm going. As soon as we come out of church, same thing y'all got. My throat hurt. Can you make me some tea? I'm like, I'm gonna need you to take a COVID test because I feel fine. You know what I'm saying? I ain't taking no COVID test.
You ain't quarantined her, did you?
Bruh, hey, by that night, she had tissues all over the bed. I'm like, nah, I think I'm gonna sleep downstairs. Like, I'm gonna sleep downstairs. She woke up Monday morning, took the COVID test, failed that joint like a bad test. So she been quarantined all week. Luckily she got a job that allowed her to work from home anyway. So she just took Monday and Tuesday, try to get better, but was able to keep up with her work. My job allowed me to work from home. As soon as I called them and told them, like, hey, my wife got COVID, they was like, nah, we'll see you next week. Like, don't even think about coming in here this week. So it started high, went kind of low. Even when it went low with that, we were still good. And then I got like this kind of like a 3-pound anchor attached to me right now. It's like a 3-point anchor. Every so often when I think about it, it'll pull me down 3 points. My father been in and out the hospital. Really, he just been in the hospital, because he'll go from the hospital back to the facility. So he got a lot of medical stuff going on. And that is what it is. He was on a potty train, looked around and he was the only one still on it. You know how it is growing up on Alabama Avenue in the 70s and 80s. So he going through that right now, but I'm good most of the time. And then it's like out the blue, I just think about it. Or I try to call him, he won't answer. I do talk to him and he sound like crap. And I'm like, dang, it's like immediate 3-point pull down. But we working our way through it. And now at the end of the week, man, cooling, man. I got no real complaints, man. My daughter out of school, Virginia Tech, she's still doing good. Personally, I ain't doing nothing. I'm out the Army, so I got no personal complaints whatsoever.
Living that retired life.
I'm still trying to figure out what it is, but for right now, it feels great. Okay. If it's going to stay like this, then I'll take it.
Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Everybody who I know came out the Army, man, I'd be like, I never had thought about it, but I definitely of course I appreciate y'all for serving, but as far as like what I do see it has done for some Black families, like,
oh yeah,
really do, like, I'd be like, man, that's what's up. Like, yeah.
It did a lot, man, and I definitely don't want to deter the show in no direction, man. But if you think about the era we came up in, most of our parents was from that Vietnam era, so they was like, nah, you ain't joining the military. Nah, ain't no recruiters coming over here. This, and that. And then a lot of us from specifically, the DMV area that did decide to join, we joined because we was at the end of the rope. We was at the end of the rope and we hadn't did enough wrong to where we couldn't join. So we went ahead and joined. You know what I'm saying? We ain't get caught enough so that we disqualified ourselves. So we went ahead and joined. But I mean, it wasn't nobody in my family like, yeah, you need to go in the service and do this and do that. Like, it was like, nah, you need to go get a trade, do this and that, go get a job. But that's another show. We'll talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Nah,
but thank you. I definitely appreciate it.
I read a study a couple years back that said Black men who join the military are like 80% more likely to join the middle class than Black men who don't join the military. So financially speaking, it does good.
Yeah. Straight up.
I get it. I get it for sure. I mean, hey, like I said, I knew you when you were 16, dog. If I had known you would have become a chief and done all the things that you've done, and when we was talking, we was running through the neighborhoods doing foolishness. I'll be honest with you.
With me, so you might have went with me.
Oh, I definitely would have went with you. Yeah, 100% would have signed up. Yeah, absolutely. Because you knew those days we was out there. That was
we was doing too much.
Yeah, way too much. But anyway,
I was asking everybody to go with me because I ain't want to go by myself. Come on, man, you want to go? Let's go.
Hey, man, it was good times, man. Love PG.
Yeah.
Anyway. We're gonna go ahead and get into this discussion about depression. So depression, I feel like, is a very, very much a sensitive subject when it comes to the men, and even more sensitive Black men. You know what I'm saying? And so I did a little research and I did some investigation. I sent it to Coach Matthias. They had mixed opinions on it, but I just want to talk about the main things that the young lady talked about on there. It was a woman talking about male depression, and the things that she talked about to me were very exact, and it's more a comparison of men compared to what women do. So one of the big things that she talked about when it comes to depression. Well, before we get started, I do want to ask Sergeant Garrett something. When it comes to male depression in your research and findings, things you've done, are there very different signals and signs between male depression and female depression?
Night and day. Night and day. The presentation of depression is far different in men than it is in women. You can even see this in little boys. What you see in women is you more than likely see the mood. You see the depressed mood. You see the tears, the crying, social isolation, withdrawing, things like that. But with men, social isolation is there a little bit, but the main difference is we get mad, we get angry, we get irritable.
All right, well, hold on before you get
Anger
into that, because that's one of the things we're going to get into.
Oh,
But
okay,
I do want
okay.
to say this. I do want to say this. So, and just me listening to what this young lady said, and which called the biggest thing is one of the biggest things which you already mentioned is that women typically show it. They cry. We've been taught all our lives, and I feel like everybody here, especially all the fellas on this panel that I know, we've been told all our lives we're not allowed to cry. You're not allowed. You gotta suck that up. Whatever you feel, whatever that is, man up. Yeah, man up. You can't be sitting there. You can't sit there and let people see that you are vulnerable, in my opinion. So, but one of the things that she started off with, I'm gonna go number one on my thing. That's what you call is that generally women see the doctor more. They go see a professional. They go to the doctor and see, and that's why I kind of brought up my thing. I don't go to the doctor a lot. I hate the doctor. I don't like going to it. Even when I go to it, I'm very honest and candid. My doctor loves me. I have actually a great relationship with my doctor. But is that we don't generally go to the doctor unless we're really, really sick. You know what I'm saying? And females go because they generally have checkups and things like that they want to do physically for their body. So one of the things that we don't go to the doctor. And that is like the first step, because you go to the doctor, you tell them, I'm not feeling good, this, that, and other, I'm having these issues. So fellas on the panel, do y'all feel like y'all go to the doctor enough?
Okay.
Oh, I mean, I go to the doctor. I've been going to the doctor regularly since I was 4.
Yeah,
every single one of them.
I do. I go get my physical. I go get my physical every year. But yeah, other than that, like I don't say like if I feel something, I don't go. Like I know, like my brother, like I feel like he go to the doctor for everything. Like anything he feels something, he at the doctor. This nigga at urgent care. Like I don't do that. Like yeah.
And see, like
the sniffle doctor, right? You know what I'm saying? But my yearly appointments and dentist, you know what I'm saying? Eye doctor. I pay a lot for insurance, bro.
I hate the dentist, man.
I am the one.
I'm grateful that I can go, but I hate the dentist. I just went to the dentist on Monday or Tuesday. I'm grateful that I can go, but that's one. Like, I don't like the dentist.
Hey, it's that simple. But I mean, let's be honest. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Me and Jamel, I'm sure it's a little different. I mean, 23 years I've been in the military. It's like, nah, we all gonna get in this line. You're gonna get these shots. You're gonna get on that plane, and when you get down there, we're gonna give you some more shots. You're gonna take these pills. And you're gonna get in that line and get some more shots. So, like, just talking to some of my partners, and I'm like, one of my partners was telling me about the COVID shot and how he was nervous about it and all this and that. I'm like, it makes me no difference. Like I have 7 pages of all the shots that I've gotten over the last some odd years, typhoid, yellow fever, malaria shots, 7 malaria shots, all these different things. So going to the doctor's
anthrax boosters.
Anthrax boost, 6, 7 anthrax shots. So that from that perspective of it, I can't really coincide one way or the other. And then I'm going into the VA system where I'm gonna be going on a regular basis to make sure that they're giving me the free medication that I need. So I can't speak on it from that aspect, but what I can say is from the being in the military when you are hurt. Oh man, my ankle, I rolled my ankle, or I got a torn meniscus, or I got my patella tendon swollen. You're not going to the doctor because you don't want to be seen as weak. Because your peer group and your supervisors are immediately like, oh, you can't run? Or you're not jumping out there, you're not doing a jump with us this week? Or why you not going on this 12-mile run? Oh, I got a swollen ankle.
Yeah. Oh, like,
for real? You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to the doctor if I got a twisted knee or ankle. Y'all, I don't know.
I'm just saying it happens all the time.
I ain't going to get all them shots you just named. But
you getting all that, bro. Hey, some of the places we go,
to the doctor.
bro. Some of the places we go, you gonna want all of them shots.
Hey, no, I'm sure, but I'm just saying, like,
I got you. I feel you. It's a little scary. I get it, but at the same time, it's your career is your your career progression is a competition. If you don't want to sit on the sideline because your ankle swollen or your big toe hurt, it's real hard for senior leaders to tell. Is he just sitting up?
Like I understand.
You are an athlete. You're an athlete. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you was in the league, that's part of what you would need to do. I get it.
Exactly.
But I think that's relatable though, like outside the military, because a lot of men don't go to the doctor as much as they should, probably for similar reasons. Because like, man, I don't need to go to the doctor. First of all, that's a copay. I ain't trying to have no insurance copay.
Hey, that copay real, son.
Yeah, it is. Look, I had before all my insurance stuff transitioned, I had to go to the hospital before everything transitioned to the VA. I had to pay a little bit of copay myself. I was like, what is this? I wasn't used to it. It all got squared away now, but even the mentality that Chief was speaking about being in the military, where you mess around and roll your ankle, who's going to be that one to miss a movement because they're not going to look weak? I think that's the same thing with a lot of people who don't go to the doctor. Like, I'm not trying to go to the doctor because I got a lot of uncles who are on up there in age in their 70s, and a lot of them say the same thing. I don't want to go to the doctor because I don't want bad news.
There you go. Hey, I said that to you when you texted me.
That's definite. I could understand that. There's something to be said mentally when you get that bad news, right? Because you know what I'm saying, mentally you can make yourself sicker than what you really are.
Yeah, and you don't want to hear it for that reason, and you got to be that one for your family. So like, if you do hear bad news, you ain't even gonna want to tell your family about it. You know what I mean? Especially if the pit, because you know what I mean, like it's and this is another thing, like going just for men, why we may feel stress or depression, because a lot of times everything feels like it falls on you.
Like it.
So you can't have that day. So like the day when I say like I felt impatient today, but sometimes I may have a right to have an impatient day. Like I'm just not there today.
And it makes it even more painful when you,
because if I am
right. And that's what I'm about to say.
It falling apart.
It makes it even heavier when you don't have the real ability to be impatient or to be like, yo, I need time. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you need time. So what we supposed to do when you need time? Like, give me time. but it's not always set up like that.
Look, these bills ain't gonna take no time. I
don't want to make my wife feel a certain type of way. You know what I mean? Like she's being a burden or anything. So I can't have that moment. I don't want her to feel it. But some days I'm not feeling the best. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, man, that's called being human, though. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we got to be superhuman, and it's crazy. Like, yo, like, where do I go to? Because and I'm just now y'all got me on a tangent. Hold on, amigo. But where do I go when I need that day? When I need to just relax? You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, we'll get into where we go later. But I'm just saying that I felt like that. I've had that same. I feel like a lot of men do, and I feel like depression in men is very common. They did say that it's very common, and we just we deny it because there's a lot of reasons why we deny it. That's the next thing that we're going in is denying your symptoms. You go, oh, I feel this way. You know what? Oh, maybe I just ate something bad yesterday. You know what I'm saying? When you're having that anxiety, that nervousness, you don't know why you're having it. Sometimes you don't even realize why you're having it. It's so deep in your subconscious that sometimes I've always talked about this on the show, and that is my abandonment issue. And I realize it's so deep in my subconscious. Sometimes I have no idea that that's what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Until later, until somebody brings it out to me. You know, sometimes my wife does, or even my kids. I've talked to my daughter. My daughter's getting ready to go to college. And I've talked to her about, like, look, when you get ready to go, I probably will pick a fight with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably going to act a fool for no reason. I don't know why. I'm going to try not to do it. I don't want to do it. But it's a part of, I love you so much, I'm scared to let you go. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I'm working on it now a year and a half ahead of time. But we deny it. We blame it on something else. We blame it on this, that, and the other. And the other thing, like I said, the next thing is denying your symptoms. Have y'all fellas ever experienced that, or you think that is something that is men that we do? Or you have anything to add to that?
Of course. I mean, I think we're taught to be strong. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? If we're dealing with something mentally, we're taught to suppress it because we got bigger responsibilities. You know what I mean? And we don't worry about, you know what I'm saying? I was always taught, don't worry about the little things, right? And I was always taught, don't wear your emotion on your shoulder in any situation, right? I remember saying that my father always used to tell me, he used to always say, save your tears for something more important.
I've heard that.
You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? Now, whether or not that, I think part of that strengthened me as a man, but you know what I'm saying? You gotta know when you need to let it out, because all it's going to do is eat away inside.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely a balance though. Like we say that, but at the same time, I do think some of those lessons are like good. Like you do know how, like you said, know how to express yourself and let it out. But some of those lessons that we did learn how to be have a thicker skin about certain things, and you know what I mean, be able to navigate. I do believe are good lessons for men to learn. Like we want to teach our sons that, and I think we do that now, but then at the same time we are able to have those conversations though, to let them know that it is okay to feel a certain type of way, you know what I'm saying, and express your feelings. It's okay if you may need to shed a tear to let it out, but at the same time I think we still gonna always hold that be a man, because at the end of the day, like I say this to my son, like if something was to happen to me, you want to instill something like in your son or in your kids, like be okay if something happens to me. So you try to make them strong. You don't want them to be dependent on you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have a balance there. You know what I'm saying?
I try to tell my boys the same thing that my pops told me, and that's my job as your father is to teach you to not need me. That's what my job as a father is to do. My job as a father is to teach you to not need me. So there are things in life that you're gonna need to navigate, but to me, one of the biggest things, and I'm learning this, especially with my 14-year-old, is a lot of lessons. He's smart enough. He's going to pick up on his own. He doesn't really need me to teach him the lessons. What he really needs me to do is model and show him what creativity looks like, what persistence looks like, what consistence looks like being able to complete a task. Because if you work with kids and young adults these days, man, these kids got a lot of quit in them. You know, they want to give up real
Yeah,
quick.
hey,
A
that,
lot
that's,
quick.
Attention span short.
I'm telling you, it's taught though. Like that's taught nowadays because everything a little easy. It's microwave generation. Like
Little. They don't even know what an encyclopedia is, bro. You used to have to go have a smart friend
we
just so
talked
you can
about
get your
that. We had
homework
to
right.
go to the library.
Yeah,
Like we
they
actually had to
do
look
that.
up stuff.
This how
I
they get their
remember, like,
access to their homework right here.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's crazy because look, I'm doing I was doing some part-time teaching at the community college just to, put myself in the civilian environment. And I got kids that don't even know how to use a computer for real because they just use their phone. Like, yeah, the school gave them a Chromebook, but a Chromebook is not a computer. Like the computer, but it's not like a Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, PDF documents, highlighting, doing research. It's not the same. And they will only get on their little school Chromebook to do what they school Chromebook, what they needed to do inside their Canvas page. So their ability to manipulate a computer at the college level, I'm like, bro, okay, I see where we need to start at. But so no, I agree with everything that y'all said. My experience was and that's funny because I was told this by my father who never did a minute in anybody's organization anywhere. My grandfather in a completely different perspective, and when I got in the military, just from a different perspective, it was like, look, you'll know when you're a man because you got to handle your own problems. Don't nobody give a damn about your problems no more. As a boy, as a young man, your problems are your sister's problems, your brother's problems, your mother's problems, your dad's problems, if your dad's around, right? You need something, you got to go to somebody and talk to them about getting it, either because you need to get there or you need some help paying for it or you need something, right? It's something that you don't know how to do that you need help to get it done. Once you're a man or once you think you're a man, or you ain't got nobody to ask no help to. You the one that have to have the answers. You got to go get that done on your own. So the way my grandfather tried to lay it down to me, and he was my true role model, my true mentor looking back, was like, he said, if you want to be a man, go figure out how to do stuff on your own. But go figure out how to the aspect where you could be able to do it for a long time and nobody going to be mad at you for doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's when it started clicking for me. Like, okay, cool. I see what you're saying. So, yeah, I mean, once you're a man, you can't really go to nobody. And then, obviously you go through that age of 23 to about 33 where you're still trying to figure it out. And then hopefully by 35 to our age group where we at now, we start to depend on each other a little bit more. Depending on the type of environment you're in, depending on the work environment, the life environment, your social friends and stuff. Hopefully you got a group that you could depend on for those type of conversations.
Now, thank you. I just want to jump in here right now, Chief Haler, because that's why I started this podcast, because I realized that I got a group. I got a huge group of men. Like Ayla, you've been my boy since we were 16. Coach Matty Ice, and even Sergeant Garrett. I met him. Like, my group has expanded since the start of the show, but I still had a group from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? That we talked about this stuff. We actually sat and had these conversations, and I was like, no, like, other people are not having it. Like, why are we not? This is what we should be talking about as men. This is what we should be. It's not talking about the new Cardi B video, Nicki Minaj, whatever. Nah, talking about this, making ourselves better, growing together. You know what I'm saying? And making our children in the next generation better, because we're not afraid to talk about it. This thing, what we're doing right now, is on the internet. Right now, if any of us go tomorrow, our kids will be able to see us, hear us, look at us, and even our grandkids talk about these issues that men don't talk about. And I've always been happy because of that. That's the reason why we do this. And I say we because I know Matty Ice and Coach is the same thing for them. Because now we're talking about things that are positive as men, and even more as Black men. So, but you're right. Growing up in our day and age, we was taught all these things. And this is what I always feel. Now we're going into the next thing, which Sergeant Garrett brought up earlier, which is anger. Because I feel like all my life, the only thing that's been acceptable for me is to be angry. I'm not allowed to cry. I'm not allowed to show these emotions. I'm not allowed to do this. I'm not allowed to do that. And part of that brings the depression because you hold all these things in. And the only acceptable thing you're allowed to do is to be angry.
And think
And I feel
about like this is the really scary part when you think about what that does to our black boys. It sets them up to be killed because very few things are scarier than an angry black man, right?
Right.
yeah,
And if we're perpetuating this idea that the only acceptable emotion for you to display is anger, that means that I'm putting you out in this world to where you experience the things that our kids experience and our young men and adults experience, but you don't have the emotional ability to process that in a healthy way. Only thing you know how to do is to yell and scream or to display anger and have that hostile, aggressive. Dr. Elliot Katz calls it the tough guys, if you will. Think about the danger that puts them in. That's real scary when you think about it.
yeah.
So let me jump on that real quick because I know Coach has seen this, Jamel. I know you've seen it, and I've seen it just by being in the military, and I know that Rodney's going to talk about it when we talk about the outlets. But when you look at the athletes that we got out here, I don't care what level they on. As soon as they do something good, what they doing? Screaming, jumping, whatever it is. It's that ability to release them endorphins internally that you got. You know what I'm saying? When you get that emotion, when you scream, you releasing those endorphins. Same thing we doing when we out there on them 20 miles, when we jumping out of airplanes, when we doing all these things. A lot of us, we getting to release that tension at that time, and then we go patch up the holes with alcohol. That's what we do on the military side. That don't happen so much everywhere else, but that's a thing that just kind of coincides.
I've been
with
doing
us,
it for 30 years, brother. Well, go ahead.
I feel you, but
it's a release in different ways. Like other people, like you said, y'all do it through like athletes, but the same way other people who don't have that release through athletics, don't have it through the military, it comes out in another way. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes
you talk about on the streets, man. On the streets, what do? Somebody you got this emotion. As soon as somebody bump you,
come out in the street,
somebody step on your shoe,
or come out maybe how they deal with females, or like, you know what I mean? It comes out in another fashion. You know, it could be a more destructive.
It's always pent up. It's like a fire hydrant. It's pent up, waiting on somebody to crack the seal.
And the thing to always remember about anger is a secondary emotion. We feel anger.
I need you to break that down for me, please.
Yeah, so we feel anger. We feel anger as a response to something. Something happens, and then we normally feel anger. 9 times out of 10, there's another emotion there. So, for example, if somebody step on my shoes, right? I'm mad, but what am I feeling underneath that anger? For one, I'm feeling disrespected. You disrespecting my J's, man. You know how much these things cost?
Yeah, that's so many different levels. It ain't even about the J's,
right? It's personal disrespect. It
a lot of times it's about not being able to express yourself. They say like a lot of because vocabulary, because you can't express yourself, so it comes out in anger because you don't know how to express yourself, or it comes out because you don't have anything else to hold on to. Something small as a pair of J's you hold so much value to, so you lash out because that's something big to you in that world where it's a pair of shoes. You know what I'm saying? But that's all you had. You know what I'm saying? So
that's all you got, right? And you fight for what you got. I tell my patients all the time, think of anger like an iceberg. If you want to get rid of your anger, or if you want to learn to have healthy anger, you need to figure out what's underneath the iceberg, because the anger is the surface. The majority of the mass of an iceberg is unseen. It's underneath the water. Dig deep. What is underneath that surface that you can't see? Is it shame, guilt, embarrassment, pride, fear? Because like we've already established with us as men, anger's safe. So that's going to be my default because I know that's safe.
Yeah, it's funny you use athletics because one of my biggest motivating factors in the young athletes that I coach was channeling their anger to become great. when they're playing it, when they're playing a sport. And I was indirectly teaching them how to turn anger on and off, right? Because anger is allowable between these lines. But control needs to happen when you cross the white line.
Right. And see, I think that's what we in the military, like if you know the statistics of certain types of units, I think that's why we have such a problem. When you see places like what was formerly known as Fort Bragg, like you might not see these types of issues at Fort Meade, because if you look at what they do at Fort Meade, it's just a bunch of like asymmetric warfare guys. They on computers, they doing this, they doing that. You go to Fort Bragg, you got over 25, 30,000 soldiers jumping out of airplanes every single week. Infantry called around the world in a moment's notice, 72 hours, they got to be anywhere in the world. So when they not training, when they not going 100 miles an hour in between the lines, now they're in their barracks and they got all the little extra money in their pocket, then they just start going and pushing themselves to the limit because they feel invincible. You know, so that's the release. And that's why a lot of our training has been geared towards that alcohol and drugs and sexual assault and things of those natures, because, you know, a lot of times soldiers don't know how to control themselves outside of those lines. And I've experienced it, and I've been on both sides of that. I've been there to pick the soldier up at the jail cell, and I've been the soldier get picked up at the jail cell. So, I mean, I've had that type of experience during my time. So I get it completely. And there's always a backstory. The alcohol is, like you said, it's like the secondary, it's like the third effect. You know what I'm saying? There's always 7 or 8 different things under the reason why it got that far. You know what I'm saying? And they normally didn't have nobody to talk to about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely believe that. I'm working on it myself. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next because we're gonna get to the alcohol later, but we'll move on to the next thing that I know for myself has been one of the things that I've dealt with during depression, and that was reckless behavior. So this goes into anger. This goes into that aspect. As you see, we're moving down the line and keeping going with it. But it took me until I actually watched this, and this is where that reckless behavior, and I mentioned it, I think, last week, even before I watched this. But that's where it kind of hit me, because I remember when I was going through something when my mom passed away, I went and bought a motorcycle. And when things were going wrong, I get on my motorcycle. I'm doing $140. I had good life insurance, so it didn't matter to me. And I went and was racing down 95. Any opportunity somebody want to throw some money on the ground, you know what I'm saying? And I realize now that I was going through something, you know what I'm saying? My mom had passed away. I was going through something. This is how I dealt with it, by doing this stupid behavior. And guess what? It actually helped me. I mean, shit, I made it home alive, luckily, by the grace of God. And after that, I was good for a week, 2 weeks, whatever the case may be, until I got into that depression again. And then I'd be like, hey, I'm ready to race. Who's racing? Who got that money? Let's do it.
So a lot of that has to do with control. When our circumstances of our life become uncontrollable, we tend to want to hold tight to the things that we can control. And being an adrenaline junkie, I got control, or at least I think I got control while I'm on that motorcycle, or when I'm driving that car, or while I'm racing on that street, or if I'm going at that gym trying to get that personal record, trying to bench press 350. A lot of that has to do with control. Very common for us as human beings, especially men. If I can't control the circumstance that I got going on, it makes me feel powerless. As men, we hate feeling powerless. That's like one of the worst things that we can feel. So now I have to do something to get my power back. And what that means is, oftentimes, I'm going to do something like you defined it as reckless behavior.
Yeah, okay. Fellas, y'all got anything to add to that? You seen it? You understand it?
I agree completely. Reckless behavior, man. we had to go on a whole different podcast to talk about some reckless behavior.
Yeah.
And
we've
and
all
matter of fact, we're not gonna make it a podcast because I don't want that to go back to everybody else. That's how reckless some of the stuff that some of the folks do. So, but no, it's out there. It's real. I think one of the techniques, you know, just to use if we talking techniques, like you said, Jamil said, you know, when you feel like you are not in control of something, you want to be in control of it. We got to find those things we can be in control of safely that don't put us at danger, right? Like I find myself when I'm like, man, you know, what I feel like I got this thing. I feel like I should be doing something. I feel like I should be doing something with my hands right now, and I'm not doing nothing. I don't feel like I'm doing nothing. You know what I do, bro? First thing I do, I'll come here and I clean out my whole little work area, whether it's at home or work for real. I go through my files, start getting rid of stuff, start looking at, okay, where am I at? Where am I at this year? Where was I at last year? Where can I be in 5 years? Okay, looking at all my bills and my statement. I ain't really got no control because I'm not making a dollar while I'm doing this, but I'm giving myself, I'm reevaluating my plan and I'm doing something that's positive, right? And yeah, do something, you know, because sometimes like I can say, yeah, I go read a book, but if sometimes that book ain't giving me enough things to do, it's not sending off those, you know, those sensors in my brain. I'm not working hard enough by reading that book. So now I need to go come up with some type of plan,
bro.
Yeah, I need to go do something physically.
Yeah,
you need to. Sometimes you like gotta do something. Like, man, just get up, go ahead and clean your closet out like you've been meaning to. Just do something to kind of get you back,
take your mind off of it.
In motion, like, you know what I'm saying, when you're feeling a certain type of way. Because sometimes, like
clean
you
your
said,
car. Clean and wash your cars.
It's those small wins, just doing something. Like that's what I find. Like if I don't know what to do and I'm feeling a certain type of way, and I ain't been in the, I like you say, I do something. Like let me go ahead and do this. Let me clean up. Let me reorganize. Let me, you know what I mean, and then that can kind of, those small things get you on track. You know what I mean? I think Coach said this before, like sometimes when we do get into a funk or whatever, or we try to change something overnight. We're talking about the New Year's resolutions. Like you can't change everything overnight. Like sometimes we look at ourselves, I want to lose weight. I want to do this. I want to do that. Like you're going to fail if you try to change all of that. It's like, it's going like a rubber band. You might do it for a week, but you're going to pop right back. Like that's not even realistic. So sometimes,
but when you stack them small victories over and over, like Coach said, he out there and it's like 20 degrees, bro. I bet you wasn't even really thinking about how cold it was. Maybe the first 2, 3 to 5 minutes, but by the time you hit that 8th minute, 10th minute, you're not worried about that. You thinking about your day. You thinking about, you know, how I'm gonna be moving the rest of the day, what I gotta do different later. You know, you on to some other stuff. And then by the time you finish, you look back at what you did, and you like, man, I was out there when it was cold. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good the rest of the day.
No, I was about to say that's the key though. You went it's nothing wrong when you had those small accomplishments to acknowledge it. Like, well, I would say it's almost like you need to acknowledge it.
You got to give yourself credit for those small victories, man.
Run in the cold, but at the same time, they could be thinking about how much they don't like to be out there. And they make it not a good experience. So that's why you gotta like, I'm out here. I don't enjoy being out here, but I did it. And give yourself that accomplishment. Let yourself know that it was a win. Like
I always trick myself, especially when it comes to working out or doing something that I don't want to do. And a tip that I give even my players: all you gotta do is start.
Yeah,
that's all you gotta do.
Start is the hardest part. Start is the hardest part. 100%.
Like, hey, sometimes it's just getting out the bed in the morning. Like, it's but once you you move and you good.
Yeah, one of the books I was reading about habits actually said that specifically. You know, it's like all these people got these great ideas about not Atomic Habits, habits. I know which one you're talking about. This is the one by Charles Duhigg.
Okay.
But he said the first thing you have to do, you want to work out. He said, don't come up with a workout plan. Get up in the morning. Get up an hour earlier, then get up with enough time so that you can actually walk. Put your shoes on. Say, even if you don't leave the front door, Just put your shoes on every morning for 2 or 3 mornings in a row. One of the mornings you're going to walk out that door because you already up. You got the time. You go and do it, right? So step number 1, just get up early. Because it's like, oh, I want to walk tomorrow. I want to run tomorrow. Well, but you don't want to get up early. You still got to go to work at the same time. Let's plan for the step 1. Let's plan to get up. And then let's plan to put our shoes on, and then let's see what happens after that. So, yeah, no, all of that, man. Those small victories is very important. You got to give yourself credit for them.
Small victories is the biggest victories. You got to take that first step. Like,
it's potential and kinetic energy. When you think about it, kinetic energy is energy that's in motion. Potential energy is energy that is stored, but it's not moving. So it's harder to stop something once it's already moving. So once something is kinetic and it's already going, it's harder to stop it. But it's easier to put something to keep it going than to start it going. So once something is going, it's so much easier to keep that momentum up, to keep moving in that right direction, keep going those small goals. Potential energy, it takes much more energy to exert on something to actually get it going. But once you do
take that big boulder. It's harder to get that boulder rolling. It's easy to keep it rolling once you got it rolling.
Trust me, like that. Yeah, that's one of the reasons. Just like why the name of our store is We in Motion, and the reason why we named it that because that's just was something that we used to always say. Like, man, we in motion. Let's stay in motion. Like, let's get done what we need to do. Like, we might not know exactly what we need to do every day, but
we moving. You need to. Hey, you gotta pop. You gotta play that. You gotta play that Trade of Truth when you get up in there the next time. That's his new genre.
What's that?
The Trade of Truth new album.
Oh,
it's all about motion. The whole album about motion.
I ain't looking to Trey in a minute.
Nah, he ain't changed. He still talk with. They still rap with that lisp.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But he be pumping though. He be pumping.
Well, I just know that summertime coming out. I feel like all our guests should be getting these We in Motion sunglasses. We still waiting on them. Me and Vance been waiting on these sunglasses.
Been waiting on that for, man.
Yeah. You know, all the apparel and stuff you come to the shop,
man.
I mean,
suits right now, man.
I see the new joint right there on the hood, man. If you want to do a shameless plug on the show, you need to get some stuff on here because I heard oh shit, goddamn, if I keep on knocking down my light. But anyway, you're gonna keep on doing plugs on the show. We need to have some material. Everybody needs to have material.
Did you see the plug? Did you see the plug on Facebook today with the hoodie? The
man, just send the link out.
All right. Anyway, we're gonna let it go. We're gonna move on to the next thing. So. But I did feel like I was the only one that talked about reckless behavior. Y'all talked about better behavior. But I know that each one of y'all did something reckless. So I feel like somebody should name something reckless that they did throughout their life.
I was gonna say this though, Rodney. Like on that point,
I drove your car.
Oh yeah, that was reckless as hell. That was reckless. Both of them.
I ain't say nothing about it. He was like when we were 16 and I was too drunk. So I was like,
man.
But look, I'm 2 years younger than him. So I always he keeps saying when we were 16, I was 14. And I drove his car from wherever we was at. And bro,
he drove me home and I was hanging out the back window of the car.
Right. Right. Now, look, let me tell you, I ain't getting no license till I was 20, and I only got my license because I went in the Army. I didn't need no license. I rode the Metro everywhere I went. You know what I'm saying? Even when we was out Camp Springs, they had just started up the 35-cent bus, so I was good. I ain't need no license. I ain't had no car. What's the point of getting a license? You know what I'm saying? Save my money. This dude had me drive his car. Yeah, that was reckless. But I've done some reckless stuff, man.
Yeah,
back to the recklessness though. This last point though, and I think this is why a lot of the youth though act the way they do because they seem like their will is broken so easily now. Like if something not going right, I'm like, man, what you complaining that like you still young, you still got your whole life ahead of you, but they feel like if they haven't reach ultimate success by the age of 21, 25, like they failed now. Like, I guess because social media is like make them feel like they should be at a certain level or something. It's like they just don't have that same, like, not all of them, but they just they will get broken so easily, man. You
I
know
call
what
it
I'm
the
Yeah.
saying?
Google
I
era.
think the youth are reckless now. And when you get into your 20s, you're held accountable a little bit more. But up until 18, there's no real penalty for anything for a lot of youth, right? So, like, when you see these youth carjacking folks and doing all this reckless stuff, it's because there is no penalty for a lot of these youth kids. I mean, and whatever penalty they get, they're willing to take because they know it's not going to last long, right? Outside of super fed charges and killing somebody, you know what I mean? The rest of the penalties are so insignificant. Whereas back in our day, dog, like, we ain't want to go to Boys Village. You know what
I
I mean?
don't know, man. I didn't want to go to Boys Village, but I was super reckless, bro.
Yeah.
Like, just I
Well,
didn't
we
really.
cameras everywhere. There was nobody.
Well,
these
that's that
dudes
too.
are recording themselves live on Instagram.
No. I
You
get
know
it.
what
I
I'm
get
saying?
it. But like I mean, even like, and I knew a lot about right and wrong, but I still didn't utilize the speed bumps, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, like, guess what? I'm using myself as an example. Like, there's got to be some youngins out here that know right from wrong, and they still not using speed bumps.
Yeah.
And then we got some youngins out here that's just dummies. But I think what it kind of boils down to, and this obviously is never going to be the same or right answer for every or anybody, but I just think this applies, is that I think that when they've never really seen it happen, then they just don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you've never really seen it happen, then you don't believe it. Like, and then the things that you have seen is like, okay, I see and I believe that, but that's not me. That's not what I want to do, because they don't know what they want to do, but they just know it's not that, right? So think about how many jokers ain't never left the DMV, right? And then you take them somewhere, and then they see it, and they just like, wow. You know, you think about how our culture used to look back in the Harlem Renaissance era. You know what I'm saying? Clean dress. You know what I'm saying? Into the arts, into the culture. You know, yeah, you still had your hustlers, still had your zoot suits and perms and all that, but it was more culture into what we was doing. But then you know what happened to that era now. And I'll give you an example. So the first year we was up here in Richmond, right in the middle of COVID, we brought my nephew up from Georgia. Because he just wasn't doing right in school. He was 2 grades behind, et cetera, et cetera. Never left Georgia, like way deep down the back, not Atlanta. Brought him up here and everything was like new, like, wow, like, where these steps go? Upstairs. Upstairs to what? In the house, because they don't have a lot of upstairs down there. You know, and everything was like a culture shock for him. You know, we all out, Luray Caverns, Kings Dominion, different places. And he like, man, it's like this up here. Man, what's this food y'all eating? Why it tastes like this? You know, just different stuff. Everything was different. It didn't help him. Didn't help him. He's still a knucklehead. You know what I mean? But he still got those experiences, you know, and that he know when he see me, he like, oh, what's up? What's up, Uncle James? How you doing? How's everything? What's up? Like, he know he can't talk to me the way he want to talk to everybody else because I'm not playing that game with him. You know, so anyway, I digress.
Yeah, I agree. And when I was saying that, I think it's about imagination. These, like you said, like, they don't even think that is possible. They give up so fast. They don't, like, we used to dream and imagine, and that's part of the reason why our logo is a big wheel, because when you drive, you should ride that jump, you feel like you can fly, like you sliding on there, like it was the way that it made you feel when you rode it. Like, these counties, they already like feel like they gave up early, like that's not possible. Like, they don't even think they can be successful sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen that when we get Sergeant Garrett.
I was just gonna say, a requirement for dreaming is hope. You gotta have hope to dream, and so many people don't have hope. They don't know what it looks like, and that could be from just the experiences that they've had that have compartmentalized them into thinking that I'm never gonna get past where I'm at, so I might as well just be where I'm at.
Exactly.
And that could be from trauma. That could be from just, all the experiences. It could be from COVID. Heck, man, if you really look at it, and I know I was beating this drum, and a lot of other of my peers in the community were beating this drum. We are dealing with a mental health crisis right now that predated COVID, but COVID exacerbated it, made it worse, and it
I agree.
extended it. It extended it. So COVID, the mental health crisis that we were dealing with affected young adults. When COVID happened, it now it literally impacted 4 generations of people. So this is something that's we're gonna be dealing with for generations to come.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree. Especially
yeah,
for those people who didn't have no support system. Like luckily, like we was trapped in the house, but it was the family together. Like we still was living normal lives. But some people, I never really even thought about that. They was going through that by themselves. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, yeah.
yeah.
And
Isolation is not
COVID
good
was
for
great
anybody.
for me. I ain't gonna lie. I was happy to be with my kids and my family.
that's what I
It was
mean. But we
like,
had
I worked
family.
so
Some
hard.
people
Nah, I
didn't
get
have
it.
family.
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying for me personally.
But think
like,
about if your only outlet was school, and now you got to be at home with the same people that's
yeah.
abusing you mentally and
No,
physically.
no, no.
Exactly.
You know what
I
I'm
get
saying?
that.
Exactly.
I
And
get
your
We
that.
had
refrigerator
we
empty.
had
You
11
know?
Yeah.
households, so
yo.
we was good. We was good here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
a lot of kids and youth and young adults that wasn't good at all.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, here's the thing. I'm gonna
Had
tell
nothing to do
y'all.
with
Y'all know I adopted my niece and my nephew. My nephew during COVID didn't go to school the entire year. You know what I'm saying? Now he's caught up. Next year he's going to graduate as a senior on time. And I'm not going to say, I'm not saying this to say that I did something great, but all I did was give him an opportunity. I made it so that he didn't have to babysit his sister.
That's
Right.
what
That's the reason why he missed a year. He had to babysit his sister. And
So you helped to give him hope.
but
That's what it's
hold on.
about.
I didn't help to give him anything because all I did was give him the opportunity, and he took the opportunity, and he's doing what he needs to do. I'm not going to take credit for anything.
Now you don't
Well,
take it
sometimes
away.
hope is attached to
Yeah,
opportunity.
he still got to step up, but it's still foundation that helps though. You
His
know what I
report
mean?
card.
So,
His report card. This is his first report card he's had in a year and a quarter of school. All A's, 1 B.
Nice.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what's up.
And he's
you gave him a footing though. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I gave him a footing. It's okay. But
Yeah,
I got that same issue that we talked about before. Is you don't know how to receive anything. So I'm not
Yeah,
receiving.
this is another reason why men be depressed. They can't take compliments.
Right.
Well,
just say thank you. Say you're welcome.
Thank you. But I do love him. Nah, I'm happy. You know what? And to me,
No, I said say you're welcome. That's all you gotta say. You're welcome.
Yeah. But to me, I don't want to jinx it until he's fully successful. I don't want to jinx nothing. I don't want to take no credit. Now, when he gets fully successful, I'm gonna take all that fucking credit. But until then, I mean, I'm happy. I'm proud of him. I love him.
Yeah, that's all you gotta say. Stay general. Don't even put a label on what his success is. Or
because success is every day.
Just stay general.
He's doing success every single day, bro.
Like, just keep it real general.
Because he can hit the lottery tomorrow, but is he successful? He hasn't done anything different. So you got to success every day.
Like
every day.
Quantify.
It's definitely not attached to money. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. We got to keep this focused, even though y'all still didn't give me a reckless behavior. Y'all did.
When? What year? What generation? What era? I give you one.
Name one. Anyone.
Which decade? Give me a decade.
Well, I already know the decade in the 90s. Give me 2000, 2010.
I got a DUI on September 11, 2001.
Well, now you got to break that down. Okay.
The night the towers got hit, I got a DUI.
Now you got to break that down. Okay.
Well, the short story is, think about it. Think about it. It's 9/11. I'm in the Army. Like, you're not supposed to get a DUI in the Army, right? So that's big enough by itself. And I was born in 80, so I was 20 years old when this happened. Short story is, 9/11 happened that morning. They was like, all right, everybody go back to your barracks. We're going to let y'all know what's going to happen because y'all know we 72-hour rotation unit. You know, they're going to call us up. It's like, all right, bet. They closed the liquor stores on post. They closed the gates, everything. So what we do, you're going to close the liquor store. We said, bet. Everybody brought all the liquor they had in their room outside, started drinking, lit a bonfire. I had a good time. I actually crashed out early, like 8 o'clock at night. I'm done, went to sleep. My dude woke me up like 3 a.m. Hey, man, take me home because I got to get changed for work. You know, we got formation at like 5, 6 o'clock. All right, cool. Hopped in the car, took him to his house, came back. When I come back, it's all these police at the gates. But we used to have open posts in the Army where you didn't have to show ID to get on post. But after 9/11 happened, the day before, now they checking everybody. They checking everybody. So here I come riding through the gate. My eyes probably bloodshot red because I was drinking. Then I went to sleep. And I woke up and drove off. This dude shining the light. Let me see ID card. Gave my ID card. He's shining the back seat. I'm gonna need you to pull over to the side. Long story short, man, I had 2 purple bags in the back seat empty and an empty case of Heineken. And he's like, so you was drinking? I was
purple bags.
yeah, the Crown Royal jumps had two empty, two. Yeah. So look, the whole time it's not even dawning on me. He was like, so y'all was drinking. I was like, I was drinking yesterday, but like I went to sleep and everything. I took somebody home. I don't really see what the problem is. He was like, dude, when's your birthday? I was like, my birthday next month. I turned 21. He's like, yeah. Go ahead and put your hands behind your back. So reckless.
Yeah,
reckless.
Okay, respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
I almost got put out. And the crazy thing is, I almost got put out the army, man. That would have changed my whole life, bro.
Trust me.
You know,
I already know. I went through some stuff that changed, that put me on a different trajectory. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like, but sometimes I would say reckless behavior usually isn't a one-time thing until it catches up with you. You know what I'm saying?
It's reckless even after it catch up with you, bro. It's often reoccur. Till
you
you fix that, till you really fix that problem.
You may not recognize.
One day?
Yeah, you're right. Nah, Maddie, you're right 100%.
It was a
You
one
may
day.
not recognize it until it catches up with you.
I didn't
'Cause
recognize it
like,
until I watched the video, brother.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It ain't gonna catch up with you till you like, because you look back on what you was doing, speeding on the motorcycle, but a lot of times we don't recognize it until later. And luckily, you know what I mean, nothing happened to you, but you know what I mean, like he said, like we do reckless behavior, but hopefully it doesn't kill us or nothing bad comes from it. You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully we learn from it.
Yeah, or if it does, you learn from it. And I would say I definitely in my younger days did some reckless behavior. Didn't know how good I had it early on in life. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was a young guy making great money. You know what I'm saying? Like the only one amongst my peers, you know what I'm saying, making good money, working for, you know what I mean, a company, making 6 figures in my 20s, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm still doing the same behaviors like that I was doing when I was younger, hanging out in the streets, being out all times of night, doing certain things to ultimately I end up waiting till I'm 30 years old, over a decade into my career, still doing stuff that I didn't need to do because I'm making great money, and end up catching a felony charge after I'm over 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? And that changed my whole trajectory. Ended up losing my career and having to reevaluate life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Luckily, I had a great woman who stood beside me, and I was able to get back on my feet. And ultimately, you know, man, I'm fine. But that was devastating to me at that moment, a time in my life. You know what I mean? And I didn't know it was reckless at the time, but now looking back, it's like, why was I even doing that? Like, it don't even make sense.
There you go.
It don't even make sense. Like if I was talking to somebody else, or if I could talk to my younger, like that, you didn't even need to be doing what you was doing. Why would you even putting yourself in that situation? You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
crashing out, man.
There you go, Coach.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I mean, the reckless behavior that I had probably came from it came from my mom passing. When my mom passed, I turned to gambling. And that's why I am so hard on budgeting now, because there was so much money that was spent and wasted trying to find satisfaction in the wrong way. And like it almost cost me my family, cost me my marriage, all of that financial, being reckless financially.
Okay, heard. Now we understand. Now, Sergeant Garrett, I know you're a professional. You might not want to put it out there.
No,
I'm gonna leave it up to you.
He out the military now. He retired.
I'll share because I'll share. I just ain't gonna share every detail. But like most young men, it was behind me chasing a woman. Um, Learned some valuable lessons. Don't date women named after cars.
Wow.
You
Is
say
that
that's
hold
long,
on. No, that sounds
long
personal.
time
Hold on.
ago.
We need hold on. We need to talk to
like
the counselor.
Mercedes.
I guarantee
I mean,
if
or
somebody
was her
came,
name? Was her name Portia or
nah.
something?
It's gotta be it's either Lexus or Mercedes. One of those two. I already know.
I
We're
ain't gonna
already
share no
good.
names,
All right.
but yeah, man,
Yeah.
like I was a young airman, man, trying to trying to get mine, trying to make a name for myself, doing the things that I thought I needed to do, because deep down I was insecure about who I was. So I was going around trying to talk to, any woman I could and going out to blacklisted clubs. So clubs are blacklisted if there's like drugs and stuff going on. The military won't let you go. I will go to them anyway and mess around. Went to a club with this one lady who was named after a car. Uh, Messed around and messed around, got high and stuff, and then I was paranoid because like I'm gonna get drug tested. I know they're gonna drug test me tomorrow. I'm gonna have dirty piss. I'm gonna get kicked out. I was all paranoid, man. God was looking out for me, so ain't none of that stuff
Man,
happened. But
that's when you just
but
need to go ahead, take them 30 days to leave. Be like, "Come on, leave. Gotta go home. Gotta go home."
yeah, God was looking out for me, so ain't nothing happened. Ain't nothing
So
happened.
there
I
you
was
go.
able to
I'm glad
finish
for
out
you.
my career.
Hold on, real quick, because every time y'all bring me back to the next topic before I even get to it, and the next topic is, and I'm gonna end with, I might throw in the next one because I do want to end the show and not keep y'all up all night. But the next topic, of course, is substance abuse, and that is something that we do during depression. We get depressed, something happens, whatever the case may be. I know I'm still dealing with substance abuse. It is something that I take very personally and listen to it. I know that a lot of men, and this is what we do because we have to take that pain, and because we don't express it, and this is my opinion, and hopefully Sergeant Garrett will explain it the more professional way, but we have to take that pain and then we have to take something and mask it and cover it. Anytime that you're really going through this thing, that this depression, everything, that you can't express it, you're not expressing through anger, you're taking that pain, you can't cry, you can't do this, you can't do that. So now I need to take something and mask that whatever that is, whether it's pain, anger, confusion, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We need to take something to mask. And I've known that I personally have been drinking since I think I started drinking when I was probably 14 years old, was when I started drinking. And I never smoked because I've told y'all my brother was into drugs. Not West, the one that has been on the show, but my other brother, he was into drugs. And during my childhood, smoking has never been something I did. Even with Chief Ayler, if he wants to express it, you can say you've never saw me smoke anything until I was over 40 years old. I didn't smoke a cigarette. I didn't smoke nothing because I lived through that. But alcohol was my substance abuse. Alcohol was my way of getting out when I had issues. So it was also when I was depressed, when I started drinking after my father passed away. My father drunk throughout my childhood. So all I did was continue something that he did. And even throughout my childhood, even with the drugs, alcohol was also a part of it too. So alcohol has always been my Achilles heel. Now, substance abuse can go in different things, all different aspects. So, but that is another thing that we do as men to cope with depression. So, anybody got anything to add to that? Huh?
Also numb. So cope is a good
Hold on,
thing.
say that again.
But
What did you say?
numbing. So what you described
Yes.
with the substance use, so coping, avoiding, and numbing. Substance abuse does all those things for us. It's also called self-medicating.
Yeah.
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 But that goes back. So that goes back to
do.
the whole thing where I started. It was like, and I mean, I still deal with it. I'm like, who do I go to? Like, I'm having, like, when I have an issue, like a for real issue, who do I go to? And don't get me wrong, it's different things. I go to my pastor, I go to my wife, I go here. But even then, sometimes you just don't feel like, because you already know what they're going to say. You already know what they're going to say to you. They'll say, you're dealing with something you need to handle, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes you just can't handle it. Sometimes you're just not in that mood. I don't know if it's just me and I'm just only expressing myself, but sometimes that's how I feel. It's like, I already know, but I just want to get through today. You know what I'm saying? And this drink is going to help me get through today. Now, do I drink? And once again, I'm just explaining to myself. So once again, my biggest thing is, Vicky goes out of town, I drink myself until I black out. I've had that. I've had Chief Ayla have seen that happen to me. And seen that, but it's always evolved around that whole thing that I have that issue. Coach has seen it too. But my question to y'all is, I'm gonna start. Sergeant Garrett already said that that substance abuse, you're numbing it. So my thing to y'all is, if you've seen it, you felt it, you understand what he's saying about the numbing of it and getting through it. Somebody help me.
Yeah, I start y'all, man. Numbing and self-medicating. Yes, no question, no doubt. That is the number one and the number two reasons from my personal experience, for myself, and for personal experience of many of the soldiers that I've been with over the years. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, I done pulled a couple of them out of some dark clubs and dark closets. While at the same time, I needed to be pulled out of some dark clubs and some dark closets too. So, it's often self-medicating. It's often numbing. A lot of it is survivor's guilt. And it's crazy because now, with 23 years in, I can kind of look at it from survivor's guilt from people that I don't have no more in the military, then also survivor's guilt from like some of the people I grew up with that I don't have no more. You know what I'm saying? Or people I grew up with, and man, I'm doing this, they doing that, and this is that. And it's like, damn, well, why I get to do this? But then I also lost my man over here, and it just sends you down this dark spiral where, there's all kinds of techniques that you can use to get yourself out of that dark spiral. But sometimes it's too late. Sometimes you're already 4-5 cups in, and it's too late to come back out of that dark spiral. It started off as a good night. You was just having a good time, but then it went, way left. So what I've identified for me personally, which just don't work at all, I can't just sit around here and drink by myself. You know what I'm saying? I can have one or two. It can be like after work, just having a stiff drink, watch the news, relax, take my shoes off. But I can't just sit back and have a bottle and a cigar and be on the phone, FaceTiming with, my crew or whatever, because y'all gonna hang up eventually. Now it's just me and the half a bottle that I haven't drank yet. And that normally goes wrong. So I just have my own cutoff points, man. And when I don't hit that cutoff point and stop, then I normally have a issue or headache in the morning. Now I got number one rule: I won't drink if my wife ain't home. If she ain't around, I won't drink. That's my rule, because I know that I will do the same thing Rodney just said. So, and because I know what I can drink in the house with her and it won't bother her. And I know if she's home, okay, then I ain't gonna go past this point, because that's gonna steer her the wrong way. She's gonna be feeling some kind of way. So it's kind of like my own little
drinking with me.
Yeah, that's what. See, my wife don't really drink like that. She might have a glass of wine or two, maybe a sip of whiskey, but not really. She ain't doing that. So I guess what I would say is create those your own internal constraints. Like I won't my bottle. I will never pull a bottle out around my kids. Just small constraints, whatever they are. Create those small constraints. It's almost like small victories, and then just try to live within those means. And when you see you can't live within those means, that's when you need to be like, all right, I need to do something about the way I'm handling my business, because are we really, handling ourselves the way we're supposed to if we can't handle those constraints? And try to make them around your family, like protecting them from the stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would say.
Yeah. My family rule for alcohol is, and my core family, mostly my dad, my brother-in-law, and me. And we get together, we'll have whiskey and cigars. That's what we do. In fact, that was the theme of my retirement party. But we drink out of joy. You know, we drink to celebrate. We drink from happiness, from like when we get together. Like for this past Thanksgiving, we got together. We went down to Myrtle Beach, and you know, my aunt makes Bahama Mama, so we got her recipe, and then my mom did her magic to it. Man, them things was good, but like we made sure that we were drinking from a place of joy
Yeah.
and celebration. We don't drink whenever we get together for a funeral or something. it- Alcohol's not there. That's not how we do it.
Okay.
It really is a sense of joy to us because what that does is it enhances our mood. And then we all got our limits. I ain't gonna drink past my limit. Like I call it getting fuzzy. I'll get a little fuzzy, and then I'll take a nap, and wake up, play spades, take a nap again, or something like that. But we all have our limits with that. But the biggest thing is, I heard this in one of my trainings. Alcohol and other drugs are great until you use them like drugs. Well, how do you use drugs? You use drugs to either numb, avoid, or cope. You use them to relieve pain, and then you use them to feel pleasure. So if you're relying on any outside substance to do any of those three things on a consistent basis, maybe something to look at there.
Hmm.
Okay. Matty Ice Coach, y'all got anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, substance abuse is a dangerous coping mechanism. Yeah, I mean, especially when it comes to addiction. I mean, I still fight with the addiction of nicotine right now. So it's and that I know that I do it from a coping standpoint, right? And it's definitely a tough battle. It started off as a habit, but it turned into coping, and now I'm trying to work my way out of that. But it's like Sergeant Garrett said, like if you got to find other ways of dealing with, you know what I'm saying, your things. Trying to put, I've tried to put restrictions on it. It's happened. I mean, it's helped. You know what I mean? And there are still restrictions in place. And it's calmed it down, but definitely, you know what I'm saying, turn into any type of substance abuse, like it's going to take you down a road that you don't want to go, and it doesn't fix the situation that you're in.
At all.
And you have
100%.
and then
I
you
know
have
that.
you have a completely new problem.
Hey, Coach, I want to ask though, like I never had. I think I went through that at one point in my time when I smoked cigarettes. It was more so when I was working, and it was just something to do because I couldn't do the other thing that I wanted to do while I was at work. So that's why. But how, like when it comes to a nicotine, is nicotine considered a substance abuse? Like, you know what I'm saying? I know it's a bad habit that you want to quit, but like you can smoke cigarettes and not be drunk on the job. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying that it's not still a behavior that you go to, but I don't like is it the same thing as somebody who has an issue with alcohol or drugs?
I mean,
you know what
no,
I'm
I think
saying?
it is because you can have functional alcoholics.
But I'm
Yes.
saying, what does smoking do to you though? Like, does it stop you from performing? Like,
So-
if you
so-
drunk all day, you can't perform. You know what I'm saying? That's
Coach,
what I'm
let me-
asking.
No,
like,
you
let
can
me
be drunk
talk-
all day and you can perform. Let's
No,
get
I'm
you
talking about
can't. No, you can't. Hey, man,
Bullshit.
compared to cigarettes. That's what I'm
I
saying.
think I can answer that for you, Maddie. So if we really looking at it from the perspective of the user, right? And the user is using this drug because they feeling empty somewhere, right?
Mhm.
Because I smoked cigarettes for years and I ain't doing no better now. I just smoke Black and Milds. I don't smoke as many, but I had to get away from the Newports because one, they cost too damn much.
It
But-
costs too much now. Yeah,
It
I
costs too
actually
much.
vape now, so
But I think if we talking from the perspective of the user, if we talking on the perspective of the person that's using it, you're using that drug to fill a hole.
mhm.
So from that perspective, yes, that hole is still there. And is this person impaired? No. Do they smell a little funny? Yeah, they can work, they can do everything, it's socially accepted and all of that. But for that person, it's a substance, they're abusing it and they're using it to fill a hole. And when they get done using it, it's not filling that hole. So from that aspect, I would say yes, but I do understand like when you're trying to compare it to like Coke
Oh, it's not
and stuff like that. Like it's just as hard to quit, and that's like for me, like I quit every time I don't have one. The way I explain it, and I hate myself every time I go buy one. So that's a mental game I got to play with myself every day. Like, why don't I just go buy the whole shelf? I can, but I don't want to because you know what I'm saying. This is that dumb
why
game.
I was asking, and it wasn't even. It was kind of from that perspective, and I appreciate you saying that, but it was like from the perspective. I think a lot of people who want to quit smoking is definitely from a health aspect because they thinking about the health benefit, you know, what it causes just not good for your health. But then I've also heard that nicotine, when it doesn't have all the chemicals that come from cigarettes and tobacco, nicotine can also be some people use it as a nootropic. It actually helps stimulate them. So that's why some people like chew the Nicorette gum because they don't get all the other stuff that comes from smoking, but it still gives them the, I guess, the dopamine.
It's a central nervous system. Nicotine is a drug. It is a central nervous system stimulant, meaning it speeds up your neurons firing. So it can have that effect. But just like any drug, you go through withdrawals if you don't have it. You can get addicted to it. When you don't have it, you can get addicted. That's what the withdrawals comes. If for those of you, if you smoke for a while and you haven't smoked, you get a pretty bad headache, right? That's nicotine withdrawal. That's pretty much what that is. So it is a drug. It is a central nervous system depressant, similar to caffeine. Caffeine is also a central nervous system stimulant. So any stimulant is gonna kind of get you hyped. It's gonna increase your central
what about sugar?
Neurons firing.
It all is there.
I ain't doing nothing without 2 cups of coffee in the morning. Like, don't even talk to me. I'm not moving.
It's driving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now and sugar's something else. Like, so you're already as a human being, our bodies are already naturally kind of addicted to sugar. Your brain craves sugar. And then because of the hyper processed foods that we eat, you know, you can get addicted to that. And because they're super processed, the sugar's super refined. So it's not like a complex carbohydrate where your body has to break it down, and it does a lot. Your body has to work to break it down. But for the simple ones that are really refined, they're not that great for your body because your body can't break them down any more than what they're already broken down. Yeah, all that stuff affects your body. That affects your mood, and you know, food is made to be addictive. That's why sometimes you like crave a cheeseburger or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the word substance abuse, everybody thinks drugs.
Yeah, it's substance.
It's not necessarily drugs.
Well, it's addiction, right? So people can be addicted to food. People can be addicted to working out. They can be addicted to sex. They can be addicted to anything.
Yeah, we talked about that before. Have you ever seen that video of a child getting sugar for the first time? It was like a video of man, that joint was actually a little scary. Like they was like
how quick
and like went crazy, Slim. Like went crazy. I was like, wow.
All right, we're gonna go to the last thing that I want to talk about, which is the next subject, which is the escapist behavior. Because I do, once again, I talked about everything in make sure I discuss myself first, but I do have that issue. When I'm in depression, I don't want to be around people. I don't want to go to church. I don't want to be, and this is talking about males. This is another thing of depression for males. We go through that where first of all, for me personally, I'm just going to talk about me personally. I feel like when I go to these places, I have to pretend. And this is when my escapist behavior comes in, because I was like, I don't want to pretend I'm okay, because I'm not. But when I feel like I got to go to church, and this is me personally talking as a male, my wife is all happy that she's there, blah, blah, blah. She's all interacting with people. And I just want to say, I'm not good. Like, nah, I'm not okay. Like, I'm not okay. I want to be in church and yell at everybody. I'm not okay. I want to be in certain areas and things where I just want to say to people, I'm not okay. No. And I go into that escapist behavior when I feel like that because I don't want to have to pretend. I don't want to go to her family's
Yeah.
house. I don't want to go to my family's house. I don't want to go here. I don't want to go there. You know why? Because I don't want to pretend I'm okay. Because I'm not. And the one thing I tell my kids, and I've expressed now in my lifetime and growing as I am, it's okay to not be okay. You know what I'm saying? It's okay, but the thing is males, and we discussed this early, and I'm bringing everything to a full circle, is that we feel as males that that we have to pretend we're okay because if we don't, everything will crumble. Like we've built this house of cards around us. And if we actually say, this house is bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm not good. I'm not okay. Things are going off. You know, all these things are going wrong. Then the house just starts imploding right in front of us. So we have to pretend because we're the bottom row of this house of cards.
Mm.
Then our wife her row is built on top of it. Then our kids are built on top of that. And then whoever else, our uncles, our aunts, our moms, our whoever, our fathers now, whatever is all built on this row. So we have to pretend we're okay all the time. And I get this escapist behavior. And I, you know, I get on the show and I tell you all my whole feelings. I'm not lying this whole time. You know, my escapist behavior is that. When I tell my wife I don't want to go to church, or I'm not going, it's because I don't want to have to pretend that I'm okay. Because if I sit here and show in this church that I'm not okay, then everything else starts to crumble in my eyes. And this is my opinion. Y'all can agree with me. You cannot agree with me. Vance already gave me the thumbs up, so I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But it's just my opinion. That's how I feel, and this is how the escapist behavior comes with me. Because
I don't disagree with you. I think there's also another emotion in there too. It might be kind of like, you know, this is I'm taking care of everything. I'm not okay, but this is my focus. But I'll tell you from somebody who I had to leave my wife at home with my kid when I went to Afghanistan. You know, my daughter was 3 months old. And you think you doing this and you think you doing that. And I had to leave again when they was older. You know, they got it a lot of the times. They got a whole lot more than we give them credit for. And then I think it's kind of like the fear of not being needed the way that you think they need you or the way they're supposed to need you. You know, so one of the things they talk with us a lot about when we first come back from them long rotations is don't go home trying to do everything. Like just go home, sit on the couch for like a week or two. Don't pay no bills. Don't go in there trying to do nothing. Like be the husband, but like don't go in there trying to take the house back over in the first week. If you was the one paying the bills before you left, let her pay the bills for the next month or two. And then y'all actually talk about it. So anyway, I just don't allow yourself to be so attached to what you do offer the household as if it won't keep going without you. Right. Even though we know that there are some core things that we bring to the table. There's money, there's love, there's security, stability, all those different things. And obviously nobody wants to miss us. But we got to give our other half their just desserts too, because that'll actually take some mental stress away from you if you know your partner got you. But I struggle with it too. And I'm perfect with it at all. I struggle with it too.
I think I agree with that 1,000%. And like coming back from the military in those deployments is the same way. Like I remember I got frustrated because I couldn't find a thumb drive because it wasn't in the drawer that I put it in. Well, Lena had rearranged the drawer and everything was nice. I just didn't know where the damn thumb drive was, and it really frustrated me. But it's stuff like that that makes us again feel like we don't have control. And Rodney, to your point, I got a couple things. I'll try and keep it quick. When the mask you wear is so different than how you truly feel, that creates such a big space inside. That's where the depression comes from because it's performative. You're performing something that's so different than what you are. You're not meant to do that. We're not meant to fake the funk that way. So it creates a space of discontent and vulnerability and fakeness and all the things that we don't like that just really eats at us. So we're like, nah, I don't feel like doing that. That's why a lot of people avoid and they check out. They escape from that. They flee those situations that are performative. But I think the other part is, the house of cards that you were talking about. How much of that is real versus how much of that is perceived? Because what Chief was saying is a great point. We will sometimes put ourselves in a position to where we feel like we have to be perfect. We can't be perfect. We're not perfect now. That's not a realistic expectation for us to have, and it's only going to set us up for failure.
Hold on,
Uh,
before you go on, I just want you to say exactly what you said again, just in case people in the back didn't hear it. I'm just sorry. Go ahead. Just I promise. Just say it one more time because that is very important to me. Is very true. I've said it, and I just want you to say it again if you don't mind. I
the part about
apologize.
realistic expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to have realistic expectations, and we cannot expect ourselves to be perfect because it's setting ourselves up for failure. We're not going to be perfect all the time. We're not going to be perfect at all. We're going to make mistakes and we're going to be flawed. But we also have to have realistic expectations of ourselves and the roles that we play. And that includes just allowing ourselves to not be okay.
Yeah.
Like if something happens to, like I'm really close with my pops, man. If something happens to my dad, I'm not gonna be okay,
Mm.
and that's okay. If I
Nah, I
am
got you. Yeah.
okay, yeah. If I am okay and I'm functioning, I need y'all to check on me because like something ain't right. I should be messed up. I should be grieving. I should be in a spot to where I am not able to perform as my normal self because that's what it means to be human. And for us as men, we've got to stop having these unrealistic expectations for ourselves because that is what's creating our depression. We're essentially creating expectations that we can never meet. And because we never meet them, it's like I feel incomplete or I feel inadequate because I can't meet this crazy high expectations that only really Jesus can meet. He's the only one.
You have to be okay with not being okay. That's one of the
Absolutely.
really that's one of the things I really realized in this last year of doing this show. Like for real, I have to be
Hmm.
okay with not being okay.
I,
Like
I
it's
remember in
okay. Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
in 2017 was the first time I really remember crying in front of my son. He was Jaden was how was he at that? He was 8 or 9 at the time. Um, my my cousin had passed away in a car accident, just completely unexpected. This was the cousin that really pretty much helped me join the Air Force. He himself was a Air Force vet, and look, my dumb self was going to join the Marines because my boy was going to join the Marines. Look, he didn't join the Marines. He backed out. I would have been the only fool going off to Camp Lejeune somewhere. But my cousin was in the Air Force. He was like, "Look, man, you need to join the Air Force." And I learned a lot from him with investments and money. And he was an electrician and became an electrical engineer, and he worked for Disney. And so when he died, like it got me. It really hit me. And so we went to his funeral, and I was walking up to view the body, and the tears started streaming from me, and I was walking with Jaden, and I remember thinking, I'm not going to stop crying. Like I'm not gonna make myself stop.
Mm.
We as men, we can do that. We
Yeah,
got that ability to kind of suck it up, right?
yeah.
I
You
remember telling
realize you
myself,
gotta stop it. Yeah, I got you.
yeah, I realized that that was a safe place. It was literally at his funeral. That's the place to grieve and begin the grieving process. And I had my son with me. I wanted to make sure that he knew it's okay to not be okay. And so he saw me and he's like, "Dad, are you okay?" And I was like, "Nah, man, Dad is really sad, man, because
Mhm.
you know Tony's dead. He died in a car accident, and I wasn't ready for him to go. I had so many things that I wanted to talk to him about, and so many words that were left unsaid. And so I made sure I communicated that to Jaden, and I made sure I let him see me at that vulnerable state. And I think that's important for us to model to our children, especially our boys, because what it does for our boys, it teaches them that it's okay to be vulnerable. I don't have to put on that anger facade to to be okay. And then what it does for our daughters, and this is important, it teaches our daughters that when they have a man who's expressing that emotion in a healthy way, he's not a
Weak.
punk. He's not weak. He's human. And so you need to help be a safe place for him. You know, one thing I help counsel women if they seek my advice about it. If you're not a safe place for your husband or for your partner, how can you expect them to be vulnerable around you because you're not safe? If you constantly telling me how I'm not a man because I don't do XYZ, why would I be vulnerable around you?
Yep.
And so
Yo,
I think it's important for us as grown men to model that so that they know it's okay.
Sergeant Garrett, I would love to pass the collection plate around for you right now because what you just said was pure preaching, sir, and I appreciate what you said. And we're gonna end the depression conversation here.
Mhm.
I did have more to come on, and I feel like this is another thing we can do for our next season, and have you fellas back again, and we can talk more about this. This was absolutely exceptional, and I feel like everybody here. Did anybody have any last thoughts they want to give out before we go on to the next talk or whatever? Because I feel like it was great.
I just think that the second part of that, knowing that it's okay not to be okay, is you got to know when you need help, right? Got to know when you need help. You might not know what that help is or what the help look like, but something I used to tell my mechanics all the time when they would mess up something. I'm like, look, there's a point in time in your life when you was working on this vehicle when you knew you needed help. And you decided to keep going, and you keep going. Since you didn't go get no help, you ain't look in the book, you ain't come get me. Now it's gonna cost me about $10,000 more to fix, blah blah blah, whatever. So what I need you to do, I don't need you to be perfect. I need you to know when you need help, and when you need that help, go find it. It ain't got to be to me. It could be to him, her, who, Timmy, Tommy, whoever. So anyway, just it's okay not to be okay, but it is also okay to seek and find help, and that might just be calling somebody out the blue. Hey man, I need you to talk me off the ledge. Hey man, I need you to do this. Hey man, can you meet me on Friday? Let's meet in Fredericksburg or whatever it might be. You got to know who you got in your corner. Sharpen up those tools you got in your toolbox. Make those relationships stronger and just use them when you need to use them. Everybody can't come to every conversation. You know what I'm saying? You got to have certain people for certain conversations.
Yep.
All right. Anybody else?
I was gonna say, and it's good. Just another part to that. It's good to be able to recognize and know when you do have those people in your corner who you can reach out to, because like you said, like sometimes they may not feel like they can go to their wife, or they might not have the homie who that's going to give them that they feel like that they can go to like that. But again, that's why we having this conversation, because us as men, we should be able to, have that moment, like where you can express that I'm not good right now. You know what I'm saying? And but again, I think that's why we having this conversation, because a lot of people don't feel a lot of men don't feel comfortable doing that. You know what I'm saying? And just the way we talking about, you need to go to the doctor. Mental health is part of the whole physical, of your health. And sometimes talking can go a long way. Yeah.
There you go, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everybody. What everybody said. You know what I'm saying? Always know that you gotta build your circle with strong people. You know what I mean? If you don't have anybody, you need to reach out to the professionals. You know what I mean? And of this world. You know what I mean? To at the very least be able to articulate your feelings, and get help that way. But your circle will help you, because most of the time your circle's not going to judge you, right? You know what I mean? And that's the key to that. So seeking help is definitely something that you need to be able to self-identify.
No judgment zone here, man. At Dad Mentality. So Anyway, we're gonna get all right. So, fellas, we're gonna end this. I feel like we're gonna have a part 2 next season. Thank you, fellas. I'm inviting y'all now. Next season, I'm gonna write it. We're gonna because I still didn't finish even this part, and I mean, it was such a great conversation, and everybody, it was I felt like it was great. So we're gonna move on to the next part. So I just want everybody to give. So, last week we had an episode with the females, and we talked about self-care. One of the things the females asked us is that they don't recognize us as men. They feel like our self-care is so much easier. Like, and one of the things that we talked about is that the females feel guilt doing for themselves. And I was like, yo, I don't feel that guilt. I'm telling you right now, I have no guilt in doing for myself, even though I have guilt because I'm holding, this depression, all this stuff down. But look, if I need to take time for myself, I know that I'm only taking time for myself to help everyone. Because if I'm not the best me, in my opinion, this house starts falling immediately. So my question to y'all is, what is your thing that you do that gives you that makes you relax or makes you feel like, okay, you can come to the next day and you're a better person. So I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna have all of us go first, and then Sergeant Garrett and Chief Ayler will go after that. And so for me personally, I already know. I started off talking about my Xbox. I play my games. I cut on my Xbox. My Xbox cut on when I wanted to. I can play what I do, whatever I want to do there, but that's not only it. So for me, I have a monthly poker group that I play with. These guys, in 9 times out of 10, I come there to win money. Matty Ice knows that. But then secondary, it's just being in a group of men and just having conversations, just, frying each other for whatever they said or whatever the case may be. It's just being in a group of strong men having a conversation that we just have fun and we play poker at the same time. So one of the big things I do, I play poker, I play video games, and then, I had to give up my motorcycles and stuff like that, which was the thrill part of it. But, playing poker and gambling on your cards and what you think, and then learning people at the same time is my other thing that I do. So, Matty Ice, what you got besides losing your money when you did come to the poker group and you stopped coming? But we're gonna let you go ahead. What's your we already know about your motorcycle, but what's your real thing, man?
I don't even gonna lie. I probably need a new outlet, man, new hobby. You know what I'm saying? To do something. Because right now, I don't really have a outlet. Like to be honest, you know what I mean? It's either taking care of the fam or working, doing something. Like, yeah, I need to get back to something.
All right, so if you had something to do today, right now, tomorrow, you could go do something. What would it be? What's your first thing?
Probably, man. I like going out, be by the water. So I used to go for walks every day. Like that used to be my thing. You used to see me every morning. I go drive, man, to Chesapeake Beach and go walking. Like I used to do that almost every morning. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I find my peace at. Like I get out in nature. Like, yeah, that relaxes me. It make my whole day go smoother when I get up and get out. And it's by water. So it's something about the water. No matter where I used to go, even if I couldn't make it to Chesapeake Beach, if I gotta go somewhere else, I had to go to the city I find somewhere. I used to go walk at Anacostia Park. It's just something about me being by water that relaxes me. Like, yeah.
Okay.
And I
got you. All right, Coach. What about you?
I mean, for 15 years it was coaching. Believe it or not. I mean, that was my time away from the fam. It was considered my me time. it was considered giving back to me, and it was something that gave me like the satisfaction. Last year it was my last year coaching. I did need a break. I mean, physically it made me tired, but mentally is what kept me going throughout the years. And now it's literally just looking back and believe it or not, I still have a lot of relationships with a lot of the kids that I coach, whether they were successful going professional or even successful in life. That is like my me time and my self-care, because it's like you get to see the fruits of your labor, you know what I'm saying, outside of your family fruits, because you see those and those are satisfactory, but it starts to define your purpose for me. So coaching was it. Physical is cycling. I know I mentioned that before on the show. So I mean, I cycle a lot. I'm cycling a lot right now, and it's not even cycling season. So, I mean, those two things I think, you know what I'm saying, are the form of self-care that I need. So,
all right, Chief Ayler, what's your self-care? What you do?
Mine have changed a lot. I mean, when I was in the military, self-care was nothing more than I just needed time alone where I could drink with my buddies. That was self-care. Over the years, I realized that was just putting more Band-Aids on the wound. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But now, I'm through my transition process, and transition for some time after you get out. So anyway, last year I started getting, not last year before last, I think I started getting into plants and stuff more, man. Like I got all kind of plants around the house now. I had stuff all out in the yard, man, zucchini, squash, carrots, everything. It gave me something to do, like especially during COVID season, man. It was like every morning I had to get out there and water it, had to check it, had to peel back the bugs, stuff like that. Then a gopher came and ate all my zucchini, so that kind of made me mad, but it was still cool. It was still something to do,
You wasn't out there with an AK looking for that gopher?
I wanted to kill him. They ain't made out of nothing. You could step on them, they're squash like a tomato. Right. Because they always under the ground. But yeah, I was out there walking the yard with a pitchfork. You know what I'm saying? Looking for the hole anyway. But it was cool, man. I got my elephant ears growing on the side of the house. So, like, I'm really into plants, man, because it's something that you could see, die. It's something you could see come back to life every year. It's some stuff you got to go plant it back every year. You got to go put energy into it. So, you get that whole life cycle. Like, I got elephant ears all down the side of my house, one for all my nieces and nephews and then my kids. So, it started off with like 7 of them drums. Now it's like 14, 15 of them all down the side of the house. So anyway, so that's something I like to do. And then obviously working out. I ain't been working out as much the last month or so because it's just cold in my garage. And I just don't care because I don't have to work out. Working out for 23 years. So
that's a good feeling, ain't it? Like, oh man, I don't got to make no waist measurement this month.
I ain't got to do nothing. I'm going to take me a couple months off. I'm going to wait till it get nice and warm. And then I'm going to start going on my walks again. Because I feel you, coach. I've respected 100%. But, bro, I got 23 years of being in places when I don't want to be there at the wrong temperature at the wrong time of day. I'm going to take at least a couple months and I ain't doing nothing I don't want to do. Unless it's nice and warm and, I can have it the way I want to have it to do what I want to do. And if I gain 5-6 pounds in the process, cool. I'll lose it later. Yeah. So.
Heard.
Yeah, so that's me.
All right. So, Sergeant Garrett, how you feel, sir?
Oh, man. So, you were talking about working out. Working out is my peace. It allows me to retreat in my head and just kind of zone out and my body can just kind of take over. But I ain't gonna lie, it's been cold, so I haven't been doing that as much. But I got a wood burning fireplace and I got a fire pit out in the back, so I chop wood. That is so relaxing to me. You can work out aggression, it's productive, and it's outside. I love being outside in nature. I think nature is healing. I think we need to have the healing power of nature around us as much as possible. But I actually also love being in the mountains. So every now and then I'll take a trip up to mountains. So 2 years ago, we went to Asheville. Then last year, I think we went up to Garrett County, actually in Maryland, McHenry, Maryland, in Garrett County, to some cabins up in the mountains up there. And it's just so peaceful. It's just so relaxing, so peaceful. It's good with the fam, but I'm not gonna lie, when it's just that I just prefer me and the wife because with the kids they bring another element there. But with me and wife, we can just hang out with us, and it's a good time. It's a good time. So got working out, chopping wood, and then being in the mountains and nature. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, you know what? I do got one more. So this is weird. I'm an '80s baby, so I grew up watching the cartoon Thundercats, right?
Okay.
I love when I'm stressed out. I'll put on a couple episodes of Thundercats and just zone out, like just go back to 4-year-old me watching Thundercats. And it's yeah, you know what it is? It's
I would love to watch.
cathartic.
What is Thundercats on? I actually would love to
Disney.
watch it. Thundercats
It's
on
on
Disney
Hulu.
Plus.
No, it's
Hulu.
on Hulu.
Hulu. I got Hulu.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, on Hulu.
Okay.
I know
Man,
it was
everything on
one of-
YouTube. Everything on YouTube.
Yeah.
Nah, they
Yeah, everything on
got
YouTube.
all the
Yeah.
episodes.
But you got to watch commercials.
True.
So good. But no, hey, yo, that's respectful. You know what? I had my children watch Voltron. That was one of the biggest joints for me. The first season was classic.
Yeah.
The actual Voltron. Thundercats, I would love to watch too. That was another one. Then Transformers. My son is a big Transformers. We watched all the Transformers, like all different brands. It's a million of those. So now, hey, look, fellas, hey, thank you for sharing with us. We're going to get ready and go to the next subject, which is unfortunately NFL football. So I'm gonna go ahead. Hey, Matty Ice, this isn't for you, but I'm gonna go ahead and play this real quick.
I pity myself that I gotta be with these fools. I pity myself that I gotta be with these fools.
Yeah, because somebody, Matty Ice, we're not gonna talk about who it was. We made our first successful win this week, Matty Ice.
Yes, got that W.
Y'all clock is
To
right
jinx
once.
us.
Y'all got one clock
Somebody
right.
was trying to jinx us by making us pick Green Bay.
They
They should have won the game. They won the game. They won the game.
So
They
somebody,
had that game locked up.
should have
somebody
won.
also tried to make us pick. What was the other team? It wasn't Green Bay. Hold on, what was the other
Houston.
weekend joint? Houston.
Wrong.
Hey,
And me and Matty Ice
wait till you hear who I make
went
y'all
against them. Went against them. And guess what? Me and Matty Ice had our first successful player or bet since we started the beginning of football season. We bet every week, and we lost every week, no matter what. One week we lost because of somebody else. I'm not going to mention the name, Sergeant Garrett, because he told us that
Panthers.
out of the 3 wins the Panthers were going to have the whole season, he was like, "This is one of them. Y'all need to bet on this." And we was like, he was like,
I pity myself that I gotta be with these fools. I
you
pity
know what I'm saying?
myself
We
that I gotta
thought
be
we
with these.
thought that he was not right, and guess what? They actually won that, and that made us lose. So now we only got 4 games,
Two.
Four teams.
4 teams, 2 games that we got to pick. One, Vance has lost his right to vote this week.
Y'all
Because
know I'm not
last
voting for the Ravens.
Because last week, so we
You
gonna
done
go
got
ahead.
voted off the
And
island. So
I wasn't voting for the
Playoffs?
49ers either.
You kidding me? Playoffs? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs?
That's what we're talking about
You
right
kidding me?
now. Okay. And Vance has lost all rights, even though he's a coach. This, that, and that. He's lost all rights because last week he almost made me lose money again. So this week we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna give my vote to Chief because I respect him. I still don't respect Sergeant Garrett when it comes to football.
I'm going on the line on this one.
So that means Sergeant Garrett gives Vance's vote because that's
All right.
his vote.
Detroit.
We already know we're going to
Detroit.
ignore.
No, I'm going.
vote.
I already know I'm
Ignore
going.
it.
straight
I'm
straight
going
money
on the
line.
line.
Whoever wins, no points. Whoever
I'm
gets
going Detroit and Baltimore in the Super
Whoa,
Bowl.
hold on, man. Whoa.
Well, I only pick one game.
Hold on. I thought I picked you. I might need to change my vote.
Nah,
buddy.
Hold on.
Detroit going in San Francisco, and they're going to slap Brock Purdy in the mouth 2 times. I don't think he's going to be able to throw the ball the rest of the game. Did y'all check to see if it was raining? Because if it's raining, he can't throw the ball.
Get the
and
money.
Debo not playing.
Exactly.
He's not
that's
so
the only thing.
No, they're going to keep in on McCaffrey, and Kittle is not Kelsey. So it is what it is.
And Debo not playing.
I don't like the fact that Debo not playing, but I'm gonna have to stick with my original.
So they confirmed Debo not playing, or is that some BS?
And my thing is, have y'all ever been to Detroit? Have y'all ever been there? Do you know how cold it is up there? They're going to be in San Francisco. They about to ball out of control. Watch what I tell you. Detroit about to go out there and act a plumb fool. They defense nasty.
Debo is questionable right now.
Something I thought I heard earlier today said he was been ruled out.
He might be, but this morning it was questionable. So
Detroit got it, and I'm rolling with Baltimore just because I like LJ, and I've been rooting for the Ravens
I'm not trying to lose money. This is the first time I got positive money in my account right now.
When you get Ravens losing, you learn how to root for the team from Baltimore. So I'm gonna root for the Ravens and Detroit.
Ravens, San Francisco, man.
Well, I definitely want. As long as you say Ravens, we good.
City. It's gonna be
as long as you say Ravens,
City.
we good. That's all. I'm not worried about the rest.
It easily can be, but I gotta root for Baltimore,
all right,
man.
Go ahead, Coach. You name the games. Me and you out. It's gonna be Sergeant Garrett, Chief Ayla, and Matty Ice. They get the pick. So let's go. You name the games. I'm trying to get it up right now.
I mean, so it's Kansas City goes to Baltimore. Who y'all got?
You can't stop the rain.
I got B more.
I'm going with Lamar, man. We gonna see Lamar. we gonna see that Lamar.
I want Baltimore, man. I think he's gonna show up.
All right, so that's 3 Baltimore.
Lamar trying to get that MVP.
All right, and the other ones
he already got it.
Detroit at San Francisco, man.
Detroit.
Matty Ice and Sergeant Garrett.
I'm gonna go with Detroit. Detroit's
Oh
hungry.
my goodness.
Detroit's hungry. They're hungry.
Finally,
I gotta stick with my original pick, man. I'm going San Fran.
It don't matter what you score. It's 2-1.
I like San Fran as a team, but just the Detroit boys, man, there's something different about them, bro. You know, they won 0 games like 2 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. They're hungry, right? Like
they won 0 games.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they're playing for a lot right now.
Look at
So with that being said, they done already won their Super Bowl because they don't even supposed to be there.
What did you say?
All right. Now I don't think they're gonna be.
They already won their Super Bowl. They already good. They can lose. They can lose, and nobody ain't gonna be mad because they ain't even supposed to be there.
I gotta pick Baltimore versus Detroit, right? I'm gonna go ahead and pick this now.
The her. The who? The her.
This man. All right, so I'm upping it now to $50. So my $50, if this happens, wins.
You picking the Super Bowl now? You picking the Super Bowl now? Don't do that right now.
What are you talking about right now?
You don't know who's gonna get hurt. Oh, you picking the championship games? Okay.
No. I'm picking championship game. So
yeah, go for it. Spend your money.
So now it's Baltimore Ravens versus Detroit. I'm putting 50 on it because I won 94 last week. Listening to the ladies, and I already realized that these ladies make better picks than you fellas.
They be looking at the uniform, talking about what match and what
I'm gonna do. So this 50 will make me $240, even though I know I'm just donating money at this point, but it's okay. It was money that was won. So all right. So that is the bet is in.
Yeah.
So I got Baltimore versus the
original pick, but Detroit definitely can.
Detroit versus the 49ers to win. They gave me a cash out right now for my 50. I almost want to take it. But we're gonna go ahead and let this go. And hey, fellas, so you know, I'm happy that y'all joined me today in this episode, and I really feel like this was something that we needed to do on Dad Mentality and need to talk about. Is, man, I want to thank y'all for coming in and joining us. And you know, I don't know if Chief Ayla or Sergeant Gary, y'all got, you know, now that y'all retired, y'all might be starting your own brands, talking about anything, whatever you want to do. If you got something you want to shout out, go ahead and shoot it out for whatever it is. And other than that, we about to end this show. So, fellas, y'all got anything y'all want to throw out there?
I ain't doing nothing unless you trying to come help me rake leaves. Come holler at me around October. I'm paying. Yeah, come on, holler at me.
All right.
I got some stuff in the works, so we ain't there yet.
You ain't there. We've been waiting for a book.
You've been waiting for a book. I got a second book. Somebody said you need to write. Yeah, man. Look. What I need to do is I need to take another sabbatical. I took like a month and a half off before I started working again. I need to take about another month and a half off.
Okay, well, it's all good. Hey, fellas, it was a great time. I enjoyed y'all. Thank y'all for joining us today. I feel like this is a subject that we definitely going to go into our next season. Dad Mentality is not going to end. I'm keeping this going, and with my co-hosts, I really know that we are doing what we're supposed to do because we have episodes like this. This is easily one of the greatest episodes that we've done so far, and I'm happy that we continue to go further into more conversations, more discussions, and you know, it is what it is. And I'm just gonna say, you know, thank y'all for coming, joining us. Make sure y'all follow us on everything. Dad_Mentality podcast. And God bless. Good night.